It's draft night. A couple things have happened. Rick, what's happened already?
What's happened already?
Janasia happened. Janasia happened.
The Houston Texans are going crazy.
Going big. Getting some players. Players.
Taking a QB at 2 and trading up to 3. Yowzers.
Hey,
Three
I gotta ask you guys a
quarterbacks.
question.
3 quarterbacks off the board already.
Hey, I gotta ask you
Woo-hoo-hoo.
a question. Are you guys getting your sound back to you from my mic? Because I don't have my headphones on.
No, I have my volume down pretty quiet though. So
No, but I mean,
sounds
like to
good.
hear me.
I
You're
can
not
hear
hearing
you.
like
I hear you.
you're not hearing you guys talk like 2 seconds after you talk.
Nope.
No.
That is weird.
Hey, it's the magic. Magic. Uh-oh. Anthony Richardson,
Is that who they took?
quarterback off the board.
For the Colts.
3 quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks off the
Well,
board.
great news. That's 3 crappy guys we don't want.
Good
I'm
thing
happy
we already got
about
our quarterback. Yahoo!
We got our love.
Rick,
So,
how'd you feel about the opening to our special show earlier this week?
whew, it was feeling good. It was.
Ben, were you purposely off or were you on
Oh, that's how I
delay?
hear it. So I hear it like a delay of like a second, and it was like, come on, it's me. I have the best rhythm out of anybody in the world.
I thought you were doing it on purpose. It was
No, I
hilarious
wasn't doing it on
either way.
purpose.
It was great. Great.
I was actually angry when I heard it.
Pretty well restrained.
I was angry when I heard it later. I was like, God dang it, I'm always on. What the heck is this? Is not right.
It made it even funnier though when you were delayed by a beat. Good stuff.
No,
Anyway,
I didn't
football,
like that. didn't
NFL
like that.
draft, drinking straight vodka tonight. Yeah,
Drinking
baby.
out of that glass, you need to. Holy cow! Woo.
All right, let's talk about it.
What happened? What
this-
happened?
You want to know what
can't-
happened? I'll tell
You
you.
can't spell.
I'll tell you what
Bucks
happened.
without
You don't
suck.
lose in overtime when your guy misses 15 freaking free throws. That's not an MVP.
All right,
It's
free
time
throws.
to say goodbye. He's the
No.
Rodgers. I don't care how nice of a guy you are. If you can't
Nope.
make a goddamn free throw, you're out.
Now listen up. Listen up here. Listen up here, boy. It's more than just about making free throws. There are other reasons why the Bucks did not win. Now,
'cause they
yes,
couldn't make a damn free throw.
that's one problem. If you suck at free throws, it's going to bite you in the ass at some point. 100%. That's how it goes in basketball, especially playoff basketball. Now,
They traded for
Yep.
an awesome rebounding defensive machine and played him like 3 games, hardly at all.
I understand, but here is the thing. Now I'll show you. The problems tend to be right in this area. K. Middleton, 10 of 24 shooting. 10 of 24 shooting for Chris Middleton. That is not good enough. Now, I know he was 9 for 9 from the line. Great. But 10
Why
to
don't we
24,
take a look at
not
hey.
good enough.
Why don't we take a look at the plus minus?
Yeah, I understand the plus minus.
Lopez negative 13. How about down here? Plus 16 for my boy Bobby Portis. That
over
is
2.
the guy who the Bucks should be worried about.
But
Who
for
cares
some
if he's over
reason
2?
was-
He's plus 16. He's doing the dirty
I know
work.
you
He's
love your
making
plus
the
minus.
team win. Plus
other
minus.
The other problems.
Minus.
The other
The game
problems.
they lost in overtime. Let's take a look. Negative.
Drew Holiday.
Plus 8 for Drew Holiday. Okay. Plus 6
Yeah,
for
4 out of
Allen.
11.
Okay.
4 of 11. Not good enough. Grayson Allen, 2 for 7. Not good
Well,
enough.
When he's
Those
on the
guys,
floor, they were doing good.
I don't care. They need to make shots. Their
How about
job,
this?
Grayson
Crowder.
Allen is specifically on the team to make shots. He can do nothing else. Chris Middleton is the primary reason why they lost this series. Number one,
yeah,
he
I know.
shot like piss here, but number 2, he made Jimmy Butler look like a superstar because he can't guard anybody.
Right.
So
Jimmy
you
Butler is
you
a punk-ass
watch.
bitch.
Jimmy Butler going into the next round against a good defender, they're going to shut his ass down. Chris
Yeah.
Middleton make him look like a goddamn best player in the world.
What
So
about
that's why they lost.
Look at the Jay Crowder 0 minutes. What
I
the
know.
fart is that?
I know.
And look at this. Look at the bench. Here's the problem with this Bucks. This is their bench they played in this game.
Makes me mad.
17 minutes from a big guy. Otherwise, who played big in this game?
Wes Matthews, for some reason, 24 minutes in this game. I don't know why. And I like Wes Matthews. He's fine, but he should not be playing 24 minutes. Why?
And look at Pat, 3 for 3, 17 minutes plus 9. It should have
Drew
been
Holiday should not be paying 47
Bobby
minutes.
Portis, Crowder, Giannis, and Holiday. That should have been your team.
No, listen up.
Or Lopez. You love Lopez.
I've watched
negative 13. Negative 13.
I've watched Drew Holiday plenty of times. He shoots. He's not a good shooter. He's not been a good shooter for this team at all this whole time. And that is a problem. It was a problem in last year's playoffs when he had to take a bigger scoring load, but he's still shooting like crap. And that was a big problem too. And I'll tell you what, his defense wasn't very good in this series either. And he's supposed to be the guy that was the difference maker on defense. Well, then do something to Jimmy Butler, Drew Holiday. Let's go.
Who was injured when the Bucks went on that huge run when they won a million games in a row?
Chris Middleton.
That's right. That's all you got to say.
Well, the other big problem is this. The other big problem is this. This team loaded up with these old guys. Excuse me, experienced veterans to give them depth. Supposedly do it. Ingles. Then you got Goran Dragic, who's on the team, doesn't even play. And all of a sudden, Carter, who was a key player the whole season and into the playoffs, couldn't get any minutes. I mean, I don't get it.
I think Bud's got to go.
Bud's got to go. He doesn't know how to work this team. The team's good enough. He doesn't know how to play him. Way too many minutes for all these guys and not enough use of the bench. And I don't know. If guys that need to make shots aren't making shots, get their ass out of the game because they're defensive liabilities. Grayson Allen and Chris Middleton playing that many minutes, that's a huge problem on defense. All right, that's all the Bucks. That's what happened. It sucks they lost. It's annoying. They were going to lose to the Celtics anyway, so whatever. Done.
Hey, one thing. You said Grayson Allen is only there to make shots. I thought Grayson Allen was only there to annoy the other team.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Well, Sorry. Jake Crowder took that spot.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. We could have annoyed some people with those guys. Come on.
That's what Grayson Allen does. He antagonizes.
All right. All right, here we go. William G was here earlier. Let's talk football now. Everyone who wants to do this, William G says everyone who wants JSN or a tight end will probably be disappointed. Packers will most likely take yet another defensive player.
Well, I would have this to say. I just saw a rumor about an hour ago that said Lamar Jackson got his contract.
Yep.
And that the Ravens are in talks with the Packers to move up in the draft. And the Packers move back to 23, which would be a perfect spot to get Kincaid / Meyer / Washington. Any one of those three would be looking a little better at 23 than at 13. Plus, they could pick up another second-round pick. Or, as I sent you guys last night, I did that move yesterday in my mock draft I did, and I sent it to you. You probably didn't look at it. I traded back, and I picked up, and they traded Bateman with me, so that takes your JSN spot right there. And then I picked up Kincaid. Actually, I picked up Meyer and Washington at the top of in both spots. I picked up Meyer at 20 or at 30, because I traded back again to the Chiefs. I picked up Meyer at 31. I picked up Washington at 42. And I had both tight ends that are good blockers and receivers in the draft.
They could use that extra pick they get, take the Gopher center, have that Minnesota Gopher connection going.
That's right.
Okay, the Seahawks pick is in, guys.
Devin Witherspoon.
What are you watching? Are you watching ESPN or NFL
ABC,
Network?
Baby. ABC.
It's on ABC? Oh, I'm watching it. I'm watching NFL Network. I don't watch
Devin
it.
Witherspoon. He's he's the nephew of Clarence Witherspoon.
Okay, I don't know about that. He's a really good player, though. He was the guy if he ever fell to my mock drafts, I drafted him no matter what.
Somebody tell me what the hell is going on with Illinois defensive backs.
They're awesome.
The last couple of drafts. Like, why are the Illinois used to be a trash team. Why do they have all of a sudden great defensive backs all over the place?
Must be the coaching.
It's the coaching.
Coaching!
No, it is. Like, I think their coach is, like, really good. That's one of the reasons why a lot of guys like going there. From what I hear.
Why don't we get that coach for the Packers? Let's go.
Because we picked up a guy who didn't know that Rasul Douglas was good enough to play with the Arizona Cardinals a couple years back. That's the guy we picked up. Genius move there, Matt LaFleur.
Hey, just wait till Green Bay takes a corner. It's like they don't have any depth anywhere on this freaking team, but
they won't now. They would have taken this guy or Gonzalez. Neither of them are going to be at 13. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind the Raiders taking Gonzalez.
They probably
He's a very
will.
Raider-like. He's a Raider choice.
They need some secondary help. But my point is, Green Bay, if they keep the 13th pick, I just hope they draft someone who is a fit, someone they're going to be able to use and make sense at that, and not a reach that they could have got at 26 or 27 if they had traded down. Let's not channel Al Davis. Don't be Al Davis, Goody. Don't be Al Davis.
Hey, if they're your guy, you take them wherever. You can get them. Doesn't matter. Look, I'm sorry about the yelling about the Bucks. Just makes me really mad that they're already out. I really wanted to play the Celtics again and see if they could beat them. But so apologize for all the yelling, but JJ has it right. Bucks need a new coach. They can't change all those players. Coach
Middleton is not good. I also saw a thing today that said Giannis isn't going to sign back with the Bucks this summer. Is his contract up this summer?
Not yet.
I don't think so.
Not yet.
I thought he was signed for a few more.
But I think he's eligible to get another extension if they wanted to extend him before.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. But anyway, it's all right. It'll be fine. No, Jonathan wants a better head coach for the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know if we know what our current head coach does.
Yeah, we don't know.
We
don't know if he's good or not.
I think they traded one of their head coaches to the Jets. Rodgers. He's his own man.
Well, he's the worst head coach of all of them, so that's okay. It's good to get rid of him.
Hey, the Lions are on the clock, guys. So we're excited about that. See what the Lions do here at number 6. So far, we got a couple of 3 quarterbacks off the board and a really good corner linebacker who we didn't need. So we're good so far. Kelly Packer here. How you doing? We're just hanging out for the draft, seeing what the Packers end up doing. Now, if they go back, we'll see. We are not on the clock yet, Jonathan. It's going to be a while. David, good to see you, my friend. Who do you want? You'd like to see our team take? Sean Clifford out of Penn State late in the draft. Okay. Maybe they'll be listening, David. Let's hope. Okay. One question since we got a little break here. How did anybody else in watching the Aaron Rodgers press conference take note of how unbelievably uncomfortable Robert Saleh was the entire time? I mean, is he just always like that, or was he just like extra uncomfortable because Rodgers was there and he had to sit through that stuff? And he had to listen to, Aaron Rodgers say, well, I mean, it's the city and a historic franchise. And oh my God, Nathaniel Hackett. I love Hack and I love Hack and I love him. And man, poor Robert Saleh. Does he know what he's in for?
He's the guy says all the right things, right? I mean, yeah, who knows, right? Like maybe he will actually show up at camp and train hard and build this great rapport with the team. Good for the Jets if he does.
Does today count? I mean, I'm here now.
People are still paying attention. So, he was there, but I guess I don't even know what to think. Like if he does all this after just blowing off the Packers for how many off seasons, right? And then try to still portray it as the Packers are the bad guys and all this, you don't find a way to try to spin it. But
he's already trying.
So much of what he was saying, it's like, you hear the same thing every year. Now it's a new team, new podium, but the same crap. So, go ahead.
I just I don't want to talk much about Ding Dong Diva Baby. I'm not a Diva Baby fan, as it says in my headline there below me. So I would just say good riddance. Thank you, Lord, for making it happen. I was so excited to see the Jets sweatshirt.
And by Jets, Lord, you mean Brian Gutekunst?
No, I mean the Lord.
Mark Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Don't say such things. Our mom is listening.
Well, look, dude, I think Brian Gutekunst is the person who made it happen. Let's be real.
Well, whatever. Anyway, we'll see. Gutekunst might be cut after this year, depending on how
that was his.
plays,
but that was his most relaxed press conference he's had in like 3 years. Brian Gutekunst, maybe since he took over as GM.
I want to see a Matt LaFleur press conference after this now.
Well, he's still got to play like, he's sad about it and all that sort of. But Goody was just like, hey, all right.
I don't know. I mean, I want to hear like if Eckes comes on and if anybody else comes on, I want to hear what they have to say about it. I mean, because let's face it, we've been hearing ourselves, and Rick has kind of been siding with us this whole time. So, and I know Eckes has had a different, thought. Not that he understood that it was the time, but I don't know how he feels about the whole thing. But the thing that's the biggest thing I noticed from the press conference is the same as always. When asked the direct question on important information on how long are you going to play for the Jets, no response. That actually matters. Talk around in circles, like Jason always says. When asked, are you going to be here in the offseason? Talks around in circles. Oh, does tomorrow count? I'll be here tomorrow. Okay, well, how about when everybody actually is going to be working on stuff? Not tomorrow during the draft, you idiotic moron. And then when asked about the whole, how come you didn't get in contact with get back in contact with the Packers when they try to get a hold of you? He's like, oh yeah, well, I only have FaceTime, so so he never left his house for 2.5 months. And because when you leave your house and you go somewhere, all of a sudden your cell service kicks in. Guess what? All those messages that you didn't get before show up all of a sudden. So he never checked his text or his phone messages when he left the house. It's just bullshit. The guy's an asshole. He's a liar. He's a diva baby. He's a freaking selfish douchebag. And I feel the person I feel the most sorry for in all of this is Nathaniel Hackett. That poor guy his whole career will be over after this whole Aaron Rodgers Jets fiasco, because Rodgers is going to just chew him up and spit him out and take complete control of the offense. And then when it doesn't work, just like he blamed everything on Matt LaFleur, the play call, like the last thing Aaron Rodgers said about Matt LaFleur was his play call is bad. Hadn't said a word about him since.
Next pick is
Nathaniel Hackett. Is it? Yeah, I know. I saw the Cardinals straight up. Nathaniel Hackett will be the one who gets his butt kicked out of the whole league, because he will take the fall. Once again, Aaron Rodgers will deflect, take no freaking responsibility for any of his actions.
Right.
And end the career of a great guy who says is like his brother.
Yeah, he loves him so much.
You know what? He doesn't talk to his brothers or his mom and dad. So if somebody said that I'm like his brother, I sure as hell would be like, whoa, I'd have my head swerved. I'd be looking all over the place to make sure, because his relationship with his brothers is not very good. Just heads up there, Nathaniel Hackett. You better look out, buddy.
We just lost our offensive tackle. Dang it. Paris Johnson Jr. off the...
Didn't want him.
Okay,
Didn't want him.
all right. Fair enough.
We don't need a tackle.
He looks pretty big. How do you know we don't need a tackle? David
We got
Bakhtiari?
Yash. We got Zach Tom. We're good.
Holy moly.
I
We got
would
Royce.
be okay with them taking a tackle if they get the right guy.
I would prefer we get an actual guard one of these years.
Well, there's a guy.
I would like them to take a guy that's a tackle, that's a tackle, a guard that's a guard, a center that's a center, not one of these Swiss Army knife guys. And he could be a tackle, or he played tackle. We're going to play him at guard because he sucks. And then we're going to take this guard and try to make him play tackle, even though he's only 6'2". Heck with that. Hey, but in Aaron's defense, just one thing here.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I usually don't talk to you guys unless we're on StreamYard, so I can kind of relate. Like if I'm going to talk to you guys, I got to see your face. So.
I'm going to see your face next weekend, Rick. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Woo! That's right.
I'll see Jason too. Wee-hee-hee.
Maybe we'll see.
What?
And Viking Mo.
Hey, I might have to I might have to be responsible. I can't be irresponsible like you all the time. You know what I'm saying? Look, we'll let that be. All right, Corey's in the house. Corey was here. He said he might pop on, but he's giving some comments. What does he say? He's agreeing with Ben, so this makes Ben happy. Agree with Ben. Tight ends will be there late first or second. No need to draft one at 13. JSN or Skoronsky.
Well, Skoronsky is one of those Swiss Army knife guys.
If they are there, 13, trade back for additional second. Additional second. Holy.
I think, I haven't watched film on these guys, but I get the impression that the offensive line that's available in this draft is biased a little more toward the interior guys and not so much tackle heavy. So,
well, that's what the Packers need anyway.
The thing about this Skoronsky, they just need a better player. Like, who cares? Like, this Skoronsky guy is better than any guard they have. He's better than Elton Jenkins.
And
who they just gave a
I'd be
big fat
fine with
contract
them-
to.
I'd be fine with them taking a tackle if it's the right guy for their scheme. I don't know if Paris Johnson would have been the
No.
guy or not. I mean, there's all this
I don't
talk
think
that
so.
he never gave up a sack, whatever. But
They also threw the ball in less than 2 seconds every time. So, like,
yeah,
of course, he never gave up a sack. That's how they do it in college. That's why those stats, when they say those stats, oh, he only gave up 5 pressures last year. It's like, okay, well, the quarterback got rid of the ball in 2 seconds because the defense is played off so much. Who gives a crap?
yeah. Well, then, yeah, I don't know if Love sitting back in the pocket's gonna be the same as Stroud either. But anyway, so
Rick, I didn't know your Raiders were on the clock. You got to speak up for them.
Yeah, number
I'm
7. Rick, what do
watching,
you?
man?
Damn,
I would
4
go ahead
minutes.
and taking a corner, as I said earlier.
Yeah, I think so.
Christian Gonzalez coming to.
What
the
about
Raiders.
Will
He's a
Levis?
great
They're gonna take a quarterback to learn behind Jimmy G because
No.
he knows so much.
Ooh, yeah.
No,
Sorry, Rick.
no QB, no receiver. Take a corner.
I don't think they're gonna take Jalen Carter, considering the whole alcohol driving with under the influence charges. I don't think they're gonna touch that.
Yeah.
How
let's
how we
not go
doing,
there.
David? I don't know what
It's not
I don't know
gonna
if you
happen.
should thank us yet, David, but we'll try to stay on point here. Look, it's a big night for a bunch of
goof
these
around.
young guys. Yeah,
We goof
big-
around, David. We don't know. But if anybody has comments, throw them in there. We'll try to
mhm.
we'll put them on. Jason will put them on the screen. We'll, if you have a thought, if you see one of these guys and they went earlier and you're like, dang it, that was the guy we wanted for the pack, and we'll see what happens. We'll see why is that guy so good or whatever the case is, and what are the chances of us,
Mhm.
getting the guy we want, whatever it can be.
And just because here's Corey's point, right? Surround in love with a lot of young, cheap talent and grow. Then when you're in contention, you can try to get free agents. But look, Corey, I don't know, man. If this young talent produces and takes steps up, the guys from last year, and the Packers play offense the way they should, and their defense kind of comes along the way it should, I don't know why they couldn't win this division. I don't.
Wait.
All the people I think they're rebuilding, I just think it's crazy. I don't get it.
I'm going to ask Rick this. Rick, what do you think about this? Because every time when a team signs a player who is, and I'm not saying every time is good, like the Raiders, for instance, they signed who was that receiver that all of a sudden who sucked with the Patriots, and then he shows up with the Raiders and catches all these deep passes from Derek Carr a few years back. Crap.
Oh.
He's now with another team. I can't remember what his name is. But anyways, he was
Sorry.
a good signing, but he was under the radar. Like, they didn't give him a crap ton of money.
Nelson
He showed up.
Aguilar? Is that-
Nelson Aguilar. He was the Eagles. That's what it was. Well, he's originally with the Eagles. Then he was with the Patriots. Then he was with you guys.
Yeah.
But like those kind of signings are okay. Like a guy who's under the radar, who you give a chance to, and he's your third receiver, and then during the course of the year, you realize, oh, he's really good at this. He's really good at finding the ball in the air deep. Let's set him deep, and especially when they lost Henry Ruggs, they're like, oh well, Henry Ruggs wasn't as big of a deal, and that guy became the deep threat, which was odd, right? The problem with a lot of the Packer fans, they always want us to trade for this big name guy who's no longer wanted on the team he was on. There's a reason that happens. It's very seldom you get a trade with a veteran player like Devontae Adams, where he goes to the Raiders and actually scores 14 points and looks exactly the same. I can't think of anybody who near the end of their second contract or the start of their third contract type age, like in their late 20s, early 30s, that went somewhere and was as good as they were at the previous spot. And what it does do, in my opinion, is it takes playing time away from the young developing players that could become something. Those guys need to be on the field too.
Now,
Like,
speaking
that's
of
what I
big,
think.
speaking of big names, there we have one waiting for us. But I had to wait till he put his shirt on and got dressed because I could see him in the production screen down low. I saw a little too much of him. But here he is, Jason Eckes. Welcome back to the show.
Boys, how you doing? Good to see you, boys.
Raiders pick is in, everybody.
I'm watching.
Also, a quick note: the Lions moved back to 12 and picked up pick number 34. So they traded back 6 spots and picked up a very high second round pick.
Wow.
So to your point, Ben, I think, yeah, that's a fair criticism of that mentality. I guess if you have a team that's on the cusp and you're looking for that one guy that's going to put you over the top, cool. What I didn't like about the Raiders trading so much away to get Devontae is that it's one guy on a team where receiver wasn't already your weak point. right? Their offense was solid. They had guys ready. They had weapons.
We go,
So you're
Rick.
dumping a bunch of future capital
You Raiders fans are excited.
for a guy
Tyree
that's not
Wilson.
giving you that huge of an update.
Tyree Wilson, Rick.
Yeah,
They're very
I understand.
excited. He's got the
Yeah,
best
but-
shades and best coat.
But now they
of
traded
anybody.
away your guy, Darren Waller, to the Giants, and now what do you got there?
Nothing, because Foster Moreau is out on medical leave, so they're not going to sign him back.
Well, maybe they'll get Washington.
They might, although they just signed a defensive end or drafted a defensive end because that's what you need, I guess.
Who'd
A
they
good
draft?
He's good.
Tyree
The guy
Wilson.
from Texas Tech, Tyree Wilson.
Ooh, all traits. That's all I hear about this guy. He's just like a monster trait machine.
He is a monster, but
He's got no shirt on, which is great, but a great jacket and pants, although they're pretty short. And then best sunglasses we've seen since Aaron Jones. There he
He's
is.
pretty
You
tall,
got him,
so
Rick. You got him.
his pants are regular length, and he's just really tall.
You got to go to the big and tall store when you that size or something. Come on.
Yeah, mixed feelings on this pick, but anyway, yeah, I think also when you bring in a guy, like Devontae, big superstar, whatever position, aside from taking the playing time away from the young guys, it's also taking the pressure and the opportunity away from some of those young guys to really step up, right? They're deferring to this vet that's coming in, right? I mean, the Devontae was going to be the focus of the offense. You bring in these high-priced free agents. It's that you're also spending a ton of money on them, right? That's potentially two other maybe second-tier guys you'd be able to get in place of that. So if you're a team that doesn't have a lot of depth, you don't have a lot of young guys coming up that you're really counting on, I feel like you're handicapping yourself a little bit in that regard too, because you're not going to be able to plug holes with the vets that are sort of cheap, right? So I think with Green Bay, no, they're not in a rebuild. I don't think they're in a rebuild stage. They might not be far from it, right? I mean, this year you're really counting on some of these young guys to step up. We saw flashes last year. No one really knows what is the offense going to look like with the changing of the guard at quarterback. Do they have weapons? Yes, absolutely. Is the offensive line going to be solid enough to give these guys a chance to make those plays? Yeah, I think they got some question marks. A huge one is Bakhtiari.
Oh, yeah, and Bakhtiari. Who doesn't
Physically,
want
is
to
he
be
going
there?
to be good to go? Mentally, is he going to be good to go?
No.
That's why I wouldn't be sad to see them take a legitimate.
You and your tackle. Just be quiet with the tackle.
Okay.
They're going offense.
We gotta
Yeah.
ask Eckes. We gotta give the floor to Eckes. He has not been on. Okay,
Hold on.
what?
I'm giving it to Eckes right after this. I've been watching intently, Eric, of your new pick, your new Raider here. And I got to tell you, this pick has got bust written all over it, dude. I feel really bad. I mean, the highlight plays they showed of this guy were against weak ass competition, and he didn't actually get past most of the guys until they stopped like they blocked him at first, and then they Royce Newman and turned away, and then he got past him. It's not looking impressive, and he's only 271, and he's 6'6", 271. That's not not
so
overly
did they draft
big.
next to Darius?
I don't know. This guy doesn't look like much of anything.
Dude.
How the hell is he a high pick? I don't get it.
Rick, I got another thing. He's got an awareness of 0. I just watched a play on NFL Network where he pushes the offensive lineman left tackle all the way into the backfield. He's directly next to the quarterback, doesn't realize he's next to the quarterback, and just keeps shoving the offensive lineman, and the quarterback steps up and then throws a pass for a first down. You got a 0 awareness, all athletic freak.
Who doesn't
It's
look like he tries
another
very
Raider
hard,
pick. Another
and he
Raider
doesn't
pick.
have good technique. From what I
Zadarius.
can see, pretty much. And then the other big red flag before we go to Eckes is his favorite player, because they asked him who their favorite player is. His favorite player was Des Bryant. So I'm sorry, Rick. That's bust all over. I apologize.
Des
Raiders should
Bryant.
just trade away all
I'm
their
surprised
first round
that's
picks.
anybody's favorite player.
They should.
Exactly.
At least it
Never
wasn't a
got
punter or a kicker.
Over to Eckes.
Well, what do you want?
No, we can say here's Eckes. This is my
Ben
question.
will set you up. Ben likes to ask questions.
We have had this show. We've gone on live for a month and a half, giving our opinions on everything under the sun when it comes to the Aaron Rodgers, no longer a Packer, and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows I think he's a diva baby, butt monkey, ass munch, jerk face. Jason can't stand him either. So we know where we come from. You are a neutral party. You're a Packer fan through and through. I mean, you got green and gold Zumbas. You are 100% Packers.
You can say
So
it.
I give you the floor.
I guess Sharts, green and gold.
That's right. He sharts it. So I want to hear your opinions on the whole trade, the compensation, how the whole thing was handled, everything under the sun. Give the floor to you, whatever you want to say. This is your platform to tell the Packer fans who watch our show a different perspective of a guy who I know to be one of the biggest Packer fans I know. Here you go. Take it away, Akis.
Well, I mean, it was time, and I you guys know I'm a Rodgers guy more so than you guys, and I stuck with them longer than you did, which is fine. Everybody gets their opinion, but even saying that, I think that it was time for him to go. I think both parties wanted to go their separate ways, and both were too big of sissies to say it. And both of them are very passive aggressive. Gutekunst and Fleur and Rodgers all coming up with these dumb things. I couldn't call him. I couldn't FaceTime you. Whatever. I think it was stupid, and it did get very annoying. I'm happy with what we got for him. I think it's fine. I would have been happy just to get the salary off the books. I would have just taken and, we have to turn the page. He seems to be happy in New York, and that bugs a bunch of people, but I honestly don't care. I don't think that they're going to beat Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to beat Buffalo. I don't think they're going to beat Kansas City. So when I saw that he said that Super Bowl trophy looks lonely up there, okay, whatever. Yeah, that stuff doesn't bother me. And I'm looking really forward to Love, and I hope that, I'm on a couple of different Packer fan websites and all this stuff, and everybody's already throwing a towel in on hope. And I hope that everybody gives him a chance, that you give him 2 or 3 seasons. You can't just say, okay, well, this is his first starting season. He better get 10 wins. Come on. How many teams do that, especially with our youth at receiver and our question mark at tight end? You got to give a little bit before you're going to just throw the guy to the wolves. You don't know what we're going to get at defense. Special teams should be good. Nixon's awesome, so I think we're okay there, and I like Bisaccia a lot. I think we have a lot of things pointing in the right direction, and I think a lot of that is due to this trade and moving on. Give me 1 second here. So that's where I stand on it. I have a couple people that keep wanting to get into. Goddamn stupid computer. I have a couple people that this is a school computer, so it's messing with me.
Oh, taxpayer dollars to be on our show. Wow.
But I have a bunch of people that are, they want to keep going on the Rodgers thing, and I know I haven't talked to you guys on it in a while, so it's fine. But I mean, I'm more interested in the draft. I'm more interested in this. He made his choice, that we're moving on, and I'm excited for where the Packers are going. I think that the future looks really good. I mean, next year is when you start looking at bigger free agents and actually start stacking the cards. This year, I don't think it's a rebuild, but it is a building year. We don't have the places that I think we make a legitimate run deep into the playoffs. Maybe we do. Maybe it's a surprise, and that'd be an awesome surprise. But even if we don't, you start getting the younger players and saving some of this draft capital this cap space that we have. And once we find out what Love is, well, then we've got a great receiving core that's young, and we're not spending a lot of money on them. And you got hopefully some young tight ends and some young talent. So I think it's a chess match, and I like where we're starting to position people. And it's a start. Love could stink, or an injury could throw the whole thing in the garbage, and then where are you? Rodgers could get hurt in the second game, and then where are the Jets? Who knows? Could happen. He's old enough that, yeah. I'm a decade older than him almost, and I know how often I get hurt now. So yeah, that's waiting.
But you're a wuss.
As long as he comes back and plays at least 65% of the snaps, then
I'm almost as big as Rick's new defensive tackle. So
you're standing on a chair.
All right, the Falcons pick is in, and it's Bijan Robinson. So
they took the running back.
Running back.
Yeah.
Great.
Holy
we don't need a running
crap.
back right now. We'll take it.
I thought their
great.
last running back did decent last year. That he came around.
They did,
Well,
but I think they're thinking, hey, we're going to take the best guy in years,
One-
probably since Saquon Barkley, and we're going
Playmaker.
to be a monster. And you got to remember, this guy, he was the offensive coordinator of the Titans after Matt LaFleur when Derrick
Yeah.
Henry ran for almost 2,000 yards. Like, this guy wants to run the ball. He loves running the ball. And Arthur Smith. So this is and they don't have a quarterback. So they're going to lean on this guy like you wouldn't believe.
Well,
Yeah, Heineke.
one more thing real quick. I'm going against one of my 6th graders. We each did the first round draft picks. And thankfully, I am beating them by 1 pick right now. So
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Man. So not only using a school computer here at home, but also wagering against.
he's going to owe me 10 push-ups. 10
He's got-
push-ups.
Wagering
okay.
against youth. Oh, okay. Push
I was
physical.
like, man,
okay,
there had to
okay.
be some sort of.
He asked what channel
illegality.
this was, and I said, "Yeah, I'm not telling you. I'm drinking a beer."
Oh, keep it top secret. That's good. That's what we've been doing this whole time. That's why our subscriber stayed so low. Top secret.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, I guess your points are taken. You're very much like Brian Gutekunst. You just want to move on. And that's what he did. And that's what the Packers are doing, which I like. So far,
Okay, now
the
here's
draft
my
is
only
unfolding well.
question.
So far, we have all the players we still want on the board.
Yeah, it's great. Here's my question to you, Ekis.
Okay.
How would you feel if Aaron Rodgers, took a pay cut, which he apparently restructured his contract to go to the Jets? He wouldn't restructure his contract to come back to the Pack. How do you feel if Aaron Rodgers shows up for off-season workouts with everybody and like studies and stuff and is hanging out with his teammates for the Jets? He's all in with the Jets, yet last year we give him $150 million and he went on a 6-month vacation. How would you feel if he shows up at the Jets and he gives them his time and everything that he should have given us last season?
Now you sound like
Would that make you a little more upset?
Not really. He's at a new
Nice.
he's in a new facility. He started a brand new place. Of course he's gonna go to this new stuff. He doesn't even know where the shitter is in there yet. He's gotta go to
He found it.
he's gotta go to all this stuff. He doesn't know any of those people. Now, I'm not saying that your point isn't accurate. I don't think it's as accurate. I don't think it's as big a deal. I don't know what your job situations have always been. But
Hey,
when
I
you've been
guess
somewhere,
I'm
when you've
starting
been
to-
somewhere for a very long time.
I got to ask you. There you go. Stay right there. Stay right there. Move just a little to your left while you address. You're lining up with Royce perfectly, like his head and his hair.
Stupid. Oh. I thought-
You're doing great. Like okay, that's
there
perfect.
you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Now keep going. It's better this way. Okay.
I can't sit still that way, but I'm trying to. There you go.
Why are you rude? He's trying to talk and you just interrupted him for something stupid.
I'm
That's okay.
sorry. It was so.
I like it. But yeah, is it the perfect thing? No. And is some of it a dick move? Yeah, some of it is, and that's. I wrote something, and Rodgers when we first drafted him, he was this young kid. He is thankful. He is on the Fit Kids, which is a health curriculum thing. I talked about that on some other dumb show.
Yep.
But he did all this great stuff for the community, and he still does stuff for the community. But he did all this great stuff, and he's just this humble little guy. And he got a bunch of money. He got really good. He got really damn weird, and then he got more selfish or more self-centered. Is what it is. If somebody gave me $150 million, I like to think I'd still be the same lovable Ekis, but who knows? I might turn into some crystal buying dude and get all weird too. I don't know. So, yeah, it's football. It is what it is.
You're so forgiving, Ekis.
I know. Well, I was happy when they picked Rodgers. I was one of like 3 people. So,
Well, I was too, but that's because
Oh,
I couldn't
he was-
stand Brett Favre.
Just taking a wide angle view at this, I really hope that whatever transpires in New York, he's not super petty coming back to hammer on the Pack and blah, 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 whatever. Right, because he did have a long career. I was a fan of him for a long time. In the last few years, sucked for a lot of reasons. And, hopefully, I'm sure a lot of fans will have a short memory for this. I'm hoping that, at some point I can look back and see the player that I enjoyed watching for a long time. And when he comes back and retires as a Packer and they retire his jersey and he goes to the Ring of Honor and whatever, that it can be a good feeling again and not the sort of annoyed feeling that I've been feeling the last several seasons. So I just want to keep it in perspective that, the last few years have kind of sucked and he's been annoying. He's been an ass. But prior to that, there were a lot of good, fun games to watch, a lot of good plays he made, and a lot of positives. So, hopefully he can just do his thing in New York, focus on the Jets, not keep coming back and irking Packer fans, and whatever. Let him do his thing. Hopefully it's just bluster and saying all the things that the fans want to hear, and in 2 years they'll be regretting the trade. But hey, by then it'll be their problem.
It's their problem now.
Jalen Carter just drafted by the Eagles at pick 8. Just to
Eagles
update
moved
you.
up one spot.
Yep.
To get him.
I guess so. They're at number 8, and they get him.
They just take big Georgia defensive tackles, apparently.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean, there you go. He's crying, emotional, crying, dude.
Well, that's because he was
Been through a lot.
Been through a lot. That guy.
So the only other thing I'd add to that, Rick, is that I was lucky enough to be at Rodgers' first game where he first threw his first touchdown as a starter, and I had a poster, and I looked like I was a couple decades younger, but it was really cool. It says say that I was there, and now there's a pretty good chance I might be at Love's. Let's see. I might be at Love's first one, so that'd be pretty.
There
sweet.
you go.
Nice.
And can I brag to Rick? Because I don't know if he saw. I won one of those Packer MVP from the scratch tickets.
Whoa.
I won one, so I get MVP seats, like at the middle of the light box, me and my wife, and then we get passes to go down on the field and hold the flag for the national anthem, and then an autographed helmet by, maybe it's a Rodgers one because they got a bunch laying around or something, who knows. And then, but
Amari Rodgers.
Yeah. So
Amari Rodgers. Yeah, you don't want that one.
I want that one. I like Amari Rodgers.
Oh, that's great, Ekis. Congratulations.
Yeah, it'll be sweet. I get to go to a lot of games next year.
Damn. Heck yes, Packer owner. We even get owners on this show. Owners from Green Bay Packers on our show too. All right. Well,
Mom's an owner.
That's right. Mom's an owner too.
We're not though.
So are you guys doing any projection picks? Like, are you guessing it on any of them or what?
I mean, come on, man.
For the Packers?
Well, for all
the Packers, yeah, for sure.
Bears are going to take Skoronski.
Bears are going to take Skoronski.
They need offensive line help so bad.
Or Broderick Jones.
They need O-line help so bad.
No,
one thing before we finish on Aaron Rodgers, I wanted to give him this. We do a roundtable on this because I have my own personal favorite. What do you think, in your opinion? And you can put this in the comments too, as we reflect on the man he used to be and the player we used to like, most of us. Anyway, what was his best game or moment as a Packer of his career to this point? In your opinion, like his best moment. We don't have to say biggest because just his best moment or most memorable moment, and you can incorporate a game if you want. Doesn't have to be one play.
I don't know.
Ben goes first because Ben's got one.
I'm not sure he has one.
The one that I always am going to say is something that I'll never forget because it was craziness. And I actually had to go to work that night because this was back when I worked at Toys R Us. And it was back when there used to, like before the pandemic, and people would actually stand outside like for crap on Thanksgiving for Friday and like the Thursday night. They'd go in line for like hours and hours and hours and wait and crap. And I think this was Thanksgiving, but it might have been a different Thursday night. I don't know. But it was during the Christmas season. I know that much because I worked at Toys R Us after that. And I was in there and going crazy. And it was the Hail Mary Richie Rodgers. It was one of those things where I don't think no one else will ever be able to do that. No one else will ever be able to make that throw at that time with 0 seconds on the clock after you got the face mask, which was not really a face mask, but he sold it really well. And then, getting out of the pocket, rolling over to the right, chucking up a rainbow like you'd never seen before in your life. And then Richie Rodgers trailing just enough to sneak over there, jump up and grab that sucker. And it was crazy. They had no business winning that game. That was purely an Aaron Rodgers game. And that's one of the coolest plays. And I don't think any quarterback in the history of the NFL will ever be able to hit as many Hail Marys as this guy has because of his trajectory, his accuracy, and his ability to escape the pocket and buy enough time for his guys to get downfield. That's another thing that a lot of people, that's a big part of the Hail Marys that are happening. He had some awesome Hail Marys, but that's the one that I'll remember as just an awesome victory. Like, he took his helmet. It reminded me of Brett Favre winning the Super Bowl, or not winning the Super Bowl, but when he first threw the first touchdown pass after throwing like 7 incompletions at the start of the Super Bowl. He just started taking his hat off and running around the field, and Rodgers had his head. He's jumping everywhere. Everybody's jumping everywhere. And the Lions, and it was in Detroit, so the Lions fans are just like, "What the crap?"
John Crockett was on the team. Actually, got a couple of carries that game.
Yeah. So that's the play I'll say. That's my most memorable Aaron Rodgers play.
I think for me, it's probably the heartbreaking playoff game with Arizona. Just Janis coming through, the unsung hero. But, that was one of those games that just felt like he was going to will the team to victory, only to be let down by the defense in a heart-crushing sort of manner. But I think that was one of the games that really made me appreciate him and just the feeling of invincibility. It maybe was the start of his ego trip. Maybe it started well before that, but I think the big clutch plays, deep touchdowns. I mean, that was, for me, what stands out in my mind is his trademark before the last few years was the daggers, right? When he would actually work the clock and get a team to jump or catch someone sleeping, and just the backbreaker sort of deep pass down the sideline that the defense didn't see coming, or even if they saw it coming, couldn't stop anyway because it was too late. So yeah, even though the game itself didn't end well, I think that was one of the games that, for me, kind of defines what he could do as a quarterback. So
for me, it was when he passed to Jake Kummerow.
Oh, the one Jake
His
Kummerow
one pass
touchdown.
to Jake Kummerow, one touchdown to Jake Kummerow.
That's fair. 0. So the Bears took Darnell Walker, Darnell Wright. So they have a tackle.
Big mean tackle.
We knew they were going to go offensive line. They need the offensive line help super bad. One guy's not going to fill all the holes. 0 had a play here. I want to throw that up. He said initially the 4th and 8 pass to Cobb in 2013 to beat the Bears. And then 0 also echoed the Arizona playoff game. My favorite Aaron Rodgers in my opinion, his best moment, and it's kind of a game, was the 2018 opening game against the Bears. That comeback, going out with the injury, coming back in the game under those circumstances, right after you've been injured the season before, and not being able to be mobile, and just distributing the ball to, let's be real, like Geronimo Allison was a deep threat in that game, caught a bomb. Like, come on. That, to me, and I know the Super Bowl, and I know his game against Atlanta in 2010 playoffs was like picture perfect. I get it. But to me, that was like his best moment as a Packer. And I'll take that comeback in that game.
Honestly, I loved all the rapport that he did. I mean, he built rapport like with Jordy Nelson. That was awesome to watch, where you just, shit, we need 7 yards, and there's Jordy with the back shoulder. That was so much fun to just see it created, and didn't even have to look at him in the snap. But I think that also created a monster, towards the end but that was still neat to see the team grow together like that. I thought that's something I'll remember, is just how those teams worked all together. I mean, you see some of these old Sports Illustrated covers with Jennings and all those guys, and Double D and all those James Jones, and I don't know, that was so much fun to watch back then when it was like that.
All right, last one, because David has a message for us.
Yeah, I like David's message.
William says Rodgers throw to Cook. He loved that one in Dallas play. And it's always great beating the Cowboys. Like, don't get me wrong. That's fantastic. All right. David says no more about Rodgers. We'll focus on the draft. What else do we got? So they're at commercial right now. I mean, the Bears, let's talk about the Bears real quick. Bears got a long way to go. There's another reason why I think the division is certainly attainable to win, because the Bears are not going to turn it around in one season. I still think, and I don't know what you guys think, but I still think Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. He's an amazing athlete, but he's not a good thrower. So I don't know how you make that guy, how you're trying to build your team around that guy, unless you're going to make him run more. And they seem to not want to. I don't get it. So you have those deficiencies. You got really no receivers yet. The offensive line is a bunch of holes. The defense underperforms. I mean, the Bears got a long way to go. Lions are up and coming. Great, but they're going to play a tougher schedule. Like we said, the Vikings, come on, squeaked out a bunch of games last year. Are they really? I don't know. This division's wide ass open. The Packers can win it. Anybody who doesn't think that, I think, is missing a lot.
Where I was going before, I forget where I got sidetracked, but I don't think they're in a rebuild. They're thin. They might not be far from it. They're counting on some of these young guys to really continue growing and building on what we saw last year. But yeah, the division's not super strong. Even Detroit, a few weeks ago, I figured Detroit was going to be the favorite, but
you want to bet on it?
Jameson, hasn't been a huge factor, but he's a threat that they don't have to worry about for the first half of the season now. So maybe that helped level the playing field a little more. Even Minnesota, they're a bit of a wild card. We saw what they could do when they get hot, but you make it into the playoffs, and it's a whole new ball game. And really, that's all they have to do is just be good enough to get to the playoffs, right? I mean, it used to be almost unheard of that a wild card team would really make a run, but that's not completely unheard of anymore. So,
right?
How awesome would it be for them to make it to the playoffs, even as a wild card, whatever, or limp into the playoffs and actually win a playoff game or two? Especially if it be against the Niners.
If they somehow made the playoffs and won 2 playoff games this season, that's how many playoff games the Packers won with Aaron Rodgers over the last 4 seasons under Matt LaFleur.
That's kind of where I was going without, saying the R word again.
Oh, sorry. I can't help myself. I can't stand them. I got to keep bringing them up.
Lee's with us from Orlando. Lee, how you doing?
Oh, Lee, what are you doing? Are you going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
That's probably where he is. Probably where he's going.
Make a lightsaber?
David's asking if we're all surprised that Jackson Smith and Jigba is still there, and no, we're not surprised.
I'm not surprised because he's kind of hit or miss. Like he's
only because all these other teams in front, right? I mean, they had so many needs, and like for them to draft a receiver that doesn't have everything,
right?
Like wouldn't have made sense, right?
He is the reason why the Packer fans and a lot of Packer fans are wanting him is because he's the perfect fit to go along with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson in the slot. Like you put him in the slot, he's your double D. He's your Randall Cobb. He's your guy who's going to get open on 3rd down and 5 when you really need to get the first down. And the fact that you have Christian Watson there, he's going to take off the top as well as do a bunch of crazy moves. Romeo Doubs is your smooth dog. He's your Greg Jennings. He can go deep if you want. He can kind of do a slant. He can do some stuff, but he doesn't quite have the wiggle that this guy has. JSN's got the wiggle. He can get open. And it's not something that everybody, number one, desires. It's not something that everybody's willing to waste a first-round pick on. But when you already have the other 2 spots filled, your 2 outside wide receiver spots filled, and all you really need is that guy who can get you the first down, and we don't. And the Packers are lacking that at this point. It makes it the perfect fit. Now, like I said in the previous shows, that also can be taken care of. That position can be taken care of by a receiving tight end, a guy who could use his big body to sit in the zone and get that first down. That's why Dalton Kincaid or Schoonmaker, whatever his name is, from Michigan, and Musgrave, those type of guys are all there to also fill that same exact role. So I don't know if it's something the Packers need to hit on at 13. I think what they do need is Meyer and or Washington, because they need a inline blocking tight end who can do all the things: catch, good hands, move with the ball, block. They need that guy. So that is actually more important to me than JSN or, Kincaid. Those guys are kind of like a specialty. Okay, it'd be awesome to get them, but it's not needed. The problem is the guys that they need aren't worth the 13th pick. That's why I keep saying, like, I wish they would trade back to the 20s, pick up another second rounder, and then they can pick up, another really good guard offensive lineman in that second round that they wouldn't normally get. Pick up one of the better tight ends in the late 20s, and they don't really need to get that Jackson Smith-Njigba, but he would be nice. Titans take our guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It surprises
That's
me a
good.
little bit, but I'm glad he's gone because I don't think he would have been the guy that the Packers need at that pick.
Well, he's like
Well,
Zach Tom.
That's what I mean. They've got a bunch of guys like that already. They don't need
Yeah.
another one.
You're right.
It's
Looks
like you're saying,
solid.
draft the guy that you need. They need someone who can fill the middle of the field. It's
Someone
a
who's going
niche
to play.
sort of
Yeah.
player, but that's where Smith-Njigba or Kincaid, one of these guys, that's what the Packers need. Yes,
And that's-
draft the best available, but also draft someone that is going to actually help your team this year, next year. Get someone who's going to make an impact.
So here's the thing, guys. I'm looking at this. We got one pick in front of us.
Yeah, it's the
And
Lions.
You're looking at Jackson Smith-Njigba's there.
Pick is in
Kincaid
as
is
well.
there. Christian Gonzalez is there. All those guys are, and Christian's a cornerback, but he's a damn good corner. But we don't need that. But
I know,
Brian
but Goody
Gutekunst
might be
loves
tempted.
corners.
He might be like, well, maybe we won't trade out of here and we'll get Christian Gonzalez. I can't resist. The Lions pick is in. They're going to announce
I
it.
could
Rodgers
see
is
them
announcing it right now.
taking Christian Gonzalez if they can seriously commit to making Razul a safety.
Wow, another
they can get
running
their best
back.
guys on the field.
Whoa.
They took a running back?
Gibbs. They took Gibbs from Alabama.
You're kidding me.
Amir Gibbs. Wow.
Wow. The
I mean, I
Packers
knew
have to trade out of this. They have
They have so many choices. They do have to
too
trade
many
out.
choices.
Yeah. Wow.
Can
But,
only trade if somebody wants to play ball.
Rodgers screwing them again. If they were at 15, maybe it'd be more clear cut. But they got that 13th pick. Damn.
This is
Mistake.
crazy.
This is wild. I like Skoronski a lot. Watching him. Did you also know, just a little historical perspective there? His grandpappy was on all 5 Lombardi's championship teams for the Green Bay Packers back in the day. And also, he looks to be really good at adjusting blocks too, like from the stuff they showed from him in college, where he can zone block is what I'm saying. Like some guys struggle with that. He doesn't struggle with that. He's doing good with it. So he'll be a good player.
Okay, what do you got?
For the
Packers
I'll
get
also,
JSN.
for the record,
I think so,
for the record, if I were the Packers GM a couple years ago, we'd have no issues with offensive line. We would have drafted all those guys we talked about, and we'd be all set. We could draft all these other guys and not worry about it. But we still got offensive line problems. Okay, so who do you guys think? Who do you guys think is coming? 5 minutes till the Packers pick. Throw in the comments who's around.
All right, who is it going to be?
JSN.
All right.
Just because Goody he's the guy who got rid of Rodgers, so he has to go give weapons of love. He has to look like he has to make that successful. So he's giving him the best thing he can right here. And they're going to trade back into the first round and get a good tight end too.
I hope so. They need it.
That's what I think they'll do.
Man,
maybe not 13 and then 14, but
they just have to trade back here unless they're totally in love with.
What if nobody?
Yeah, you can only trade up. He wants to trade.
I mean, who's here that somebody? I mean, Christian Gonzalez maybe ahead of the Patriots because the Patriots might like Christian Gonzalez. So if there's a team lower that wants him, because I don't think Christian Gonzalez was. I don't think anybody thought he would still be here at 13.
Yeah, he's tempting.
2 running backs before the Packers pick. That's crazy. Wow. In a league that doesn't really value running backs too much. That's
if
wild.
they take Anthony Richardson, I'll be pissed.
They better not.
Well, they took Love that one year when we all thought they traded up and grabbed the Ravens.
Queen.
Yeah. We thought that we were all jumping around and then
I know.
Lee wants JSN. Everybody else, I mean, I think you'd be happy with that pick, right? And if you can't trade out of this,
as long as they don't just come up with somebody on the next page of shit that I'm looking at right now, I'll be happy. There's so many good players, but the Packers love to prove how smart they are and grab somebody that
you weren't thinking of
40 picks later.
Well, that's how they got
Eric Stokes.
Quay Walker and Eric Stokes. Nobody had them coming in the first round.
Yeah, but they could have got him in the second round probably.
Well, let's just listen to this. Dalton Kincaid in 2022 played 12 games, had a 90.2 overall grade. He caught 70 out of 93 targets for 890 yards.
Pick is in, guys.
12.7 yards per catch and 8 touchdowns. The year before that, he caught only 36 passes for 510 yards, but he had a 14.2 yard average and 8 touchdowns. He's a downfield threat with great hands.
The Green Bay Packers pick is in. Now they're at commercial, so they're not going to announce it quite yet. But the pick is in.
Good. Then there's a sleeper 5th, 6th, 7th round tight end that they should kind of listed as a fullback. His name is Hunter Lipke. He might be from Spencer. They can take.
He might be from Spencer, or he is from Spencer.
I played baseball with his dad. So
there you go.
That'd be pretty sweet if he is in.
I mean, that'd be cool, but one of my guys is DeGuara, so I think he would take DeGuara's spot pretty much because that's pretty much the spot he would take. But I mean, he might be an upgrade. I mean, I like DeGuara, but if this guy is as good as people say he is, and they say he's the best fullback in the draft,
never know.
He could be great.
His dad went with him out to 49ers and Kansas City to check out facilities. So,
well, he'd fit right in with the 49ers. He'd take Juszczyk's spot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, you know how it goes in the pack. Whenever the Packers draft a local kid, either nothing, it doesn't pan out, or they ship him out of town before you can say anything. So they never quite do the thing they should do.
Horn thinks it's Van Ness.
God, I hope not.
No
offense, but this is what I say. I say supply and demand. Supply and demand. An edge rusher who is 270 pounds and not known for doing anything but rushing. And a lot of times he played at defensive tackle in college, not necessarily at defensive end / outside linebacker. I don't think he is a perfect fit for the team. Number one, I think they need to start playing more like they did back in, when they won the Super Bowl, to be quite honest. Like, the defense is much better. They had number one rated defense then, and it was based on 3 big guys and Clay Matthews coming off the edge from who knows where, who added that little bit here. And then the other guy would sometimes come, the other guy would sometimes go back, and the linebackers would clean up the mess. And now what we play is 2 defensive linemen, 2 outside linebackers that are really not outside linebackers because they never cover. All they do is rush every time, and everybody knows it. And then their linebackers that they play have to clean up the whole mess, not just a little bit of the mess, all the mess, because now there's more gaps for guys to get through.
All right, Captain Rodgers is announcing here, but I want to see Inigbari play too, so I don't really want to see a guy that's going to take time away from him.
Well,
Captain
there's so
Raj
many good
says,
edge rushers in the draft. I don't think that it's...
Packers fans are kind of excited. Lucas Van Ness. God,
you're kidding me.
Bitch.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
That's a dumb fucking pick. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. I don't care.
They got the Jonas Brothers
guy.
on. They're talking to him on TV, so there you go.
He might be a nice guy. It's the dumbest pick in the history of all time.
So
it doesn't
we were
fit.
talking earlier about being able to fill in gaps with the cheap veterans. You've got Gary's coming off an injury. You still got Preston for right now. You got Enigbare.
I have to get a beer.
This is the perfect position to fill in with the crusty vets on a 1-year contract for like middling sort of dollars. Basically what they did with Merciless, who, it sucked he got hurt, but that was the perfect kind of pickup. Right? I hope he's more than just a one-trick pony, but I don't think that he's really shown that he's going to be dominant, just controlling the end of the line sort of guy. And I don't see them getting the return on investment for this one.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He's 21 years old, 6'5", 270 pounds. And, he's from Iowa. So we have good luck with Iowa guys, other than, of course, Josh Jackson. But the other guys, fine. But those are also late round picks. And I just don't know. I got to take
the floor here. I got to take the floor here for a minute.
Not a fan.
Here's the deal. They showed the Packers fans, including the one guy wearing a sombrero, when they were going to announce the pick on my TV here. And that guy was like this. He's like, And then the pick is announced, and he's like, "Yeah." He didn't have much of a reaction at all.
It's because
And
it's
then on
not a
top-
good pick.
And then, almost immediately, they showed his name for a second, Van Ness, on the broadcast, and they cut to the damn Jonas Brothers because the pick was so blah and boring. So now they're talking to the Jonas Brothers, not even talking about the Packers pick on this broadcast. So that tells you most of what you need to know. Come on, man, Goody, what the? Why? Why does he love defensive players that aren't going to play for him right away, or you're stacking at positions again? Cut it out. I want players that are going to be on the field, impact guys early. Why? What are we doing? If they don't move back in and pick up one of those guys, if they're still out there late in this round, then there's a problem. Go ahead.
I don't know. No, I got nothing to say.
What do you guys think about that Jalen Hyatt receiver?
I don't like him.
Let's see.
He's too skinny.
He's too tall, skinny.
People say that to me all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, good for
So
you.
you're too skinny?
He can't really get open much. He can run straight. He's tall. He might be able to go up and get, contested balls, but he's not really a good route runner. And he is not good at changing direction. So that's not very helpful.
I just don't. I'm just upset now.
Here's my
I
other
can't
problem.
explain. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm
No.
saying you pick something that's going to really impact your team, or something that's hard to come by. And right now, there's edge rushers coming out of your ears in this draft, and what there isn't is good wide receivers. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I think, like to Jason's point, I think you could have traded back 6 picks and still got Van Ness if you're,
Yeah.
I mean, unless nobody wanted to trade with you, I get it. But
true, and it is what it is. But
if nobody wants to trade with you, then you look at the supply and the demand, like Ben was saying, and you take one of those guys that's high up in a position group that's not that deep. You don't take.
Well, I would have gone Gonzalez if I was going to go defense. I would have.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully they're smarter than me. That doesn't.
All right, now I'm back to Goody should be fired. I'm back on that one.
Hang on, I gotta answer this call. I got an Iowan on the phone.
Oh boy, who do you got?
I got a Rasputin.
Rasputin,
Mr. Iowa himself. Okay, hang on. We are live on YouTube right now, Rasputin.
Rasputin, your guy better be good. Dang
I'm going to tell you. You are going to tell me. I'm going to put you on my phone speaker here. Say something so we can see if we can hear you. Talk. Can you hear him? Anybody?
Put it right up against the mic.
Hang on a sec. Okay, now say something.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, Rasputin, you are Mr. Iowa.
Yeah.
Tell us about Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, you got a steal, man. At 13 even. No,
A
he's a good
steal?
football player. I was just talking to another person. They're like, call him. I have a really good friend in Rochester. It's a huge Packer fan. He's from a small town, but he says everybody's from Green Bay because it's from this small town. And I said, I wonder if he's sitting here watching the draft wondering, who the heck's Lucas Van Ness? But I told this guy that I was talking to him, like, there's an Iowa guy that's never started a game at Iowa that's going to get picked high in the first round, I think. And, yeah, no, he's a good football player. He never started a game, but I think half of what he was drafted on was probably potential because I don't think anyone thinks he's even close to how good he will eventually be. But his nickname at Iowa in the locker room was Hercules. He had a huge combine. That doesn't mean everything, but no, he's a freak athlete. So.
Well, I know a lot of people were Rasputin. A lot of people were concerned about the fact that he didn't start any games, but I also know that Iowa has a strict policy on starting their seniors, and he was not a senior; he was a redshirt sophomore this season.
Right,
so in his third year, so he played a lot. He just didn't start the game, right? Isn't that what happened?
Right. Yeah, they rotated like 8 players on defensive line, and he probably averaged close to, if not at starter minutes. He just didn't actually start the game. So that really was kind of more of a headline than anything. I mean, yeah, he wasn't a starter, but I mean, he didn't start the first series, but he played enough minutes probably that would be, if you looked at the statistics, I'm guessing his minutes were at what, near the top or what a starter's would be. So, but no, I'm excited to watch him now. I'll be able to see him because we get Packer games here. So he's it sucked we lost, and I wish he only a sophomore, like you said, third year. But
well, he reminds me of another guy we drafted in the first round who didn't start on his team for a long time, and that was Clay Matthews. And he went on to have a pretty dang good Packer career. So it might be a good choice. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think this guy's as quick as Clay. He's a lot bigger size, just girth wise. And I think he played more.
He's not playing the same position as Matthew.
Matthews played outside linebacker. This guy's like a D tackle / D end, right?
Right. He can play up. He can play all up and down the defensive line. Yeah. But he's probably. I think he was considered in the draft as an edge, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's what they say he was.
Yeah, but he played all. He could play up at Iowa at least. I mean, of course, whole different ball game, but he played tackle. Defensive tackle. He played defensive end, so he can play all up and down the line. But and I'm guessing he won't be. I don't know what the Packers personnel is right now.
They could use help.
They need someone right now, or is he going to be able to sit and learn a little bit before he play? Is he going to start day one because of what?
He won't start day one. They have too many guys right now, but he will get in the game, and he will probably be a contributor right off the bat because they have a hole at pass rusher because Rashawn Gary's injured and he probably won't be back right away. So this guy's going to come in and take over a role like that. And then also if he can help, maybe get some pass rush from the interior on third down and so forth, we could use that too. So it's another one. Goody does this all the time. He takes a young player with amazing athletic traits. His ceiling is going to be through the roof. But he can't help us for 2 years. So it's okay, well, awesome way to go. I mean, that's the same thing happened with Rashawn Gary. We took him, we didn't see him for 2 years. And of course, his third year, he played great. And after that, then last year he got hurt. So it didn't really help us much. Same thing, Jordan Love. We draft him. Now we're first seeing him now in the fourth season. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. The draft's a crapshoot with everybody. But like I said, he's only played 3 years at Iowa. He's never been hurt as far as I can remember. At Iowa, it's only 3 years. But I think that's why he got drafted so high. He would have been drafted, I think, regardless, fairly high. But why he got drafted 13th overall is because of the ceiling that people think I don't think people think he's anywhere even close to where he can be someday. So
yeah,
and he was already a really good football player. So
all right, hey, hang on, Rasputin. I'm gonna just I'm going to keep talking to Rasputin. Jace, take over. I'm going to come off the stream for a little bit. All right.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Rasputin, Mr. Iowa.
I wish he
Rasputin.
sounded more excited talking about him though. That's the problem.
Rasputin, he's not the most excitable guy. That's the problem.
Well, I've met him before. He's been excitable around me, but he doesn't sound that excited about this dude talking. Maybe he's just tired or something. I don't know.
He can't hear anything you're saying.
I know.
Jason said you don't sound very excited, Rasputin. Is that true?
No, that's just my personality's coming through. I'm pretty,
I have met Rasputin. I played basketball with Rasputin. Come on.
But on the court, he talks trash. But when he's just hanging out, he's
trash
hey.
for a scrubby white dude,
Yeah, Jason said he played basketball with you, and he was talking a lot of trash there. Now he's not nearly as exciting.
Jason played hoops with us? I don't remember that.
No, he wasn't that good. That's probably why you forgot. You probably forgot.
Get him the hell out of here. He's
now he's saying you're taking shots at him. Okay. All right, Jace, take over. I'm going to talk to John for a little bit. Thanks, John. That was John Rasmussen, everybody. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, we appreciate you, Rasputin. Appreciate your perspective. All right.
Sorry about the disappearing act. There's all
that's all right. I guess I had to do it too.
Stairs I had to go wrangle.
I had to get bigger.
I had to do. Look, Bruce, we wanted to trade, but we didn't know. Maybe they couldn't trade back. I have no idea. It just, again, especially at a time where I know Gary was injured, but come on, right? Unless this is the contingency succession plan for them not wanting to offer Sean Gary if he wants too damn much money. Maybe that's what this is. I don't know, but the Packers always sign their first round picks that seem to be pretty well to a second contract. That's what they always do. And they always pay him a lot. So I'm not expecting that to be the case. So if you were planning on doing that, I don't understand this whatsoever. I just don't, unless look, the only way this pick helps and makes any sense is if this guy is a disruptive pass rusher from anywhere on the defensive line.
Maybe he'll be the next Watt.
Maybe. But
Hopefully.
if then they're going to say, okay, Kenny Clark, you're out on third down, and this guy's in, and we're going to play him inside. Okay, I could see it, and I also understand how the pass rush helps your coverage, right? Because if your coverage isn't that good, the pass rush can make up for bad coverage. Get it? I get it. It works together. But I mean, the kid looks like a really good player. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see him on the field. Then I guess is what I'm saying. So
Can't argue with any of that.
Yay! Come on.
For being picked that high, they need him to be someone who can be a 3-down sort of player.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch a lot of Iowa, I'll be honest, but I just don't have the impression that he's shown that he's going to really be that sort of guy. And again, if your team is loaded and you're looking for the luxury, that extra whatever, that extra push to get you over the top, cool. But I just don't think that edge was their biggest need in this draft.
Not even close.
Well, if they say they take the best player available, I mean, I guess the list that I'm looking at have that as Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're to me, you need corner help more than you need another guy there, unless they see him as like a guy that can play inside too. That's all I'm saying. If they think he can play defensive end as well, okay, I guess. But come on.
I'll be amazed if they don't trade back in this round.
They better. They really need. They have to address. We have talked about it. The Jets pick is in, I guess. We'll find out what that is in a minute. But Robert Saleh seems really pumped up. No, he doesn't. That's somebody else. Never mind. All right. Another bald guy in the room. Okay. But one thing I think is there's only a couple of guys that can fill that primary tight end role, and they better get one of them. They cannot get through this draft and not get one of those guys. They can't go with one of the, steals of the draft, the guys that are fine. They need to draft a starting tight end that is going to play for them right out of the gate. There's nobody to pick up. This is Jordan Love's first year. He needs a guy they can rely on. They need to have a good running game. They can't play around with this. I just don't get it. Jets pick is in. Rodgers is going to announce it. Let's find out what he's got. Kyle Stickles is there from Make-A-Wish. He's really excited about it. Help announce the Jets pick for this kid. All right. Come on, Raj. Spit it out, buddy. Jets draft with the pick they got from the Packers. Oh, they're really milking this crap. Come on, Raj.
They're going to take JSN.
Probably. They'll probably take him, and then Rodgers will have another little receiver running around. Let's see. Oh, the kid gets to announce it. Good for him. Goodell, I think, was going to announce it, and then he walked out of the way. Oh, wait, I better let this kid from Make-A-Wish actually announce it instead of stealing his thunder.
So Jace, where does Cody Mock land in your list of guys the Packers should take?
I don't know who that is.
The tackle from, was it North Dakota? Missing a couple of Chiefs.
Damn, this kid's milking it too. He really wants his Make-A-Wish to take a long time. All right. Wow, this kid's fired up. He's fired up. Aaron Rodgers is quarterback. He's fired up to announce that the Jets just picked Will McDonald from Iowa State, linebacker. That's why Robert Saleh was happy. He got a linebacker. All right, cool. Okay. Damn.
Wow. How does Christian Gonzalez fall this far?
I don't know. He's a really. I mean, here's the one thing I'll say about him that I noticed. Okay, because I watched quite a bit on him because when I saw his traits, when I saw his size, his speed, his test scores, his RAS, when I saw all that, I was like, this is a guy Goody wants to draft. Oh my God, Goody's gonna want to draft this guy. I can tell you right now. But when you watch him play, he does. I mean, he's like almost 200 pounds. So he's like 6 feet, 200 pounds, or 6'2", 200 pounds, right? He's a pretty big corner.
Yeah.
And he can move. He can do all kinds of stuff. But at times, he looked pretty passive. He wasn't very aggressive in the way he was playing and the way he was attacking stuff, even guys at the college level. And that kind of surprised me because I'm like, you're a big corner who's fast and could really, I mean, you could really show most of these guys up you're playing against. And he would kind of like, you know, not really be that aggressive tackling, kind of play off guys at times and some of the stuff I was watching and I was like, okay. He has great athleticism, great hands, jump, change direction, great, all that sort of stuff. So maybe I guess what I'm getting at in a really bumbly way is I don't know if he's an aggressive enough player to be playing on the defensive side of the field. And that had me a little concerned about him, I guess.
It sounds like he'd be perfect for the Packers.
No, stop it. I'm telling you, he's definitely one of Goody's guys. Now, if they come back in this round and draft him, then I'm going to be pissed. Then bench, come on, we'll let him swear for about 10 minutes.
I don't know. Packers might have outrated the Raiders in this one.
Well, I think Venice looks like he's going to. I think Venice looks like he's going to be a good player. I just want to actually see the player on the field, and I don't know if the Packers coaching staff will do that.
I think he could be a good player too. I'm just afraid he's going to be another one of these situational guys that isn't going to be the impact you expect for someone drafted in the first half of the first round. So
not with the players that were available.
So you moved up for that, right? I mean,
yeah. Did they honestly think he wouldn't be there?
I mean, right?
Maybe the Jets would have taken him, but
it does seem like I don't know. It seems like a waste again, which is kind of what the Packers do. It's their track record. What
do you guys think of Brian Branch?
I know this isn't a great class of receivers, but halfway through and no receivers taken.
Yeah,
more running backs than receivers.
Right, that is weird. It's perplexing. Well, the Commanders didn't waste any time. Their pick is in, but they went to commercial, so we got to wait for it a little bit.
Just a comment showing up in the YouTube chat.
What's that one?
Assuming it's William G. WMG. Yeah, so basically his comment was, or her comment was, thought they would take a safety last year's first round, didn't take one this year's first round either.
Yep.
Last year, maybe. I mean, there was a guy like Seen that certainly could have seen going late first round. But are there really any safeties worth a first round pick in this class?
No, not this year. They're not like athletically, they're not big enough difference makers, and they're not big enough. They're like smaller safeties, kind of smallish. So there's only so much you can do with them too. And I don't know. I mean,
sort of.
Yeah, right. And those kind of guys. I mean, let's be real. Across the league, I mean, look at the impact Rudy Ford made last year, and he was just a guy you picked up off the scrap heap. Like you can find guys that are average size when given the opportunity that can maybe make plays. So that's why I wasn't surprised by no safety here, but I am really surprised by not, especially with the situation with the new quarterback, and the need at inside players to throw the ball to, that wasn't the pick. Man, I'm curious what you guys think about I don't know. Is Preston Smith movable? I can't remember his cap number and contract
It's
situation.
a pretty big hit, but it's not very long.
I mean, I just don't. I don't want to see Preston Smith on the field taking snaps away from Inigbare and this kid, if that's what you're gonna do.
Okay, but no, to start the year though, right? How
Right,
long
'cause you
before
don't have
Gary's
Gary
really
yet.
going to be back?
I don't know. Some people are saying they think it might be till December because it's an ACL, right? And
Yeah, so
sometimes guys get back in 7 months. Sometimes, actually, I just sat in on a physician's presentation last night, and he talked about the process of repairing those ACLs, and that really to solidify that new tendon that they put in place, you should give it a year,
So okay, so there you go. But even
which is crazy.
best case, say that Gary's back mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the way I would look at it is, okay, coming into this, you got Preston, at least for this year, right? Whatever
Yeah.
happens after this year, fine, sort it out at that point. Is that an ideal fit? Maybe not. But he's there. He knows the defense. If they don't put him out trying to cover receivers, use a guy like he can be used. That's not a bad thing. So you got Preston on one side. You got Inigbare. It's not bad to start the season. Gary comes back, keep him on a late workload, work him in. I think that's a decent three-prong rotation you got going. Okay, so now you got Van Ness too. Work him in. Use Preston on running downs. He's big. And if you're going to work in Van Ness, keep him for the pass rush specialty if that's what you want him for. I think they can use him. I guess I don't see the need to unload Preston at this point. There's enough dead weight on the defensive line that I think he's still got some value that he can bring to the team. They're going to be on the hook for salary either way, so get what you can out of him this year.
Wow.
And figuring out the interior, that's another story.
This pick, and the Commanders didn't waste much time. They took Emmanuel Forbes, like 166. He's only 6 feet tall, 166 pounder. He's a little skinny dude. I know he's got some ball skills, but that over Christian Gonzalez is crazy to me.
Maybe Christian Gonzalez is going to be this year's Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe Goody's
False
going to
way.
get him. He's going to come back and get him now. He's going to be so tempted.
Now, Rick, going back to your point, the hard thing is, what do you do with Rashawn Gary? Because he wants money now.
And
So is that why they
him.
got Van Ness? Because they're like, God, we can't sign this guy to a huge contract coming off an ACL, and he was hurt to start his career. He's hurt already. We can't do that. So we take Gary 2.0, and we're trying to move.
Perfect Packer play, though, right?
That's exactly what they did with Jair.
Yeah.
I mean, they love their first round picks, and if the guys show promise, they're like, "Yep, we're giving them that big." Nope, Christian Gonzalez, Patriots snapped them up. Okay,
they're smart enough to make that move.
They didn't piss around. They're like, "Oh, that guy's still here." Okay.
The problem is I feel like Green Bay injury is not a deterrent to Green Bay when it comes to throwing around money.
Justin Harrell would agree with you.
They are, for better or worse, good, bad, whatever, they are loyal to their guys for the most part, despite what some people say in the media. The guys that have been fan favorites, they're a guy like Gary, I think, is going to get his payday either way. There are some teams that would probably be a little reluctant, a little hesitant, but I think if Green Bay wants him, they're going to throw a lot of cash at him, injured or not. And it might be looking past Preston, right? You look at the first year when the Smith brothers were there. That was good times. Maybe they're looking at that. They want to lock up these two young guys, have their bookends for the foreseeable future. And I don't know. But it could also be look at, re-sign Gary, get a couple more years out of him, and then when it becomes contract hell, then it's time to cut him, move him, whatever, take your losses, and by that point, look at re-signing Ness. Right? They are several years apart where maybe contracts will be staggered enough that it won't be a huge issue. They weren't afraid to throw money at their bookends when they brought in Za'Darius and Preston.
It's
Okay.
still kind of weird. But
So-
I'm gonna say this real quick, Agus, is that
Nope.
I still just thinking about it. That's the thing that struck me about Christian Gonzalez. He doesn't seem like a very aggressive player, but he plays defense. It's weird to me. That was the only hang up I had. The Patriots didn't have any hang up on it, but I wonder if he's just too low key, not aggressive enough, not fired up enough. I don't know.
So what do you think is the biggest reach this far in the draft? Is it
Gibbs?
Jamar Gibbs
Yeah.
or McDonald over Gonzalez?
For me, I think it's that 12th
I mean,
pick.
Forbes
That's the
over
game of hot
Gonzalez?
potato getting passed around and then finally picking a guy that I was surprised to see him go that early.
Well, they still could have got him here at 18, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
I'd say Gibbs is the biggest reach. So I mean, Van Ness is, yeah, he's. I
Well-
hope he's going to be good. So
But he was projected to go in the first round on like every
yeah, I get
mock
it.
draft.
I get it, and I'm not mortified with the pick or anything. It's fine. They're smarter than me. I have no problem with that. I could have swore they're going to go offense, but whatever. But yeah, I think that Gibbs one is a reach, just
For
for,
the
what
Lions,
the Lions
though-
have. The Lions have everything on offense. They have David Montgomery can't be real happy with that.
No. But the Lions at 18, maybe they take someone now who a lot of people foresee being off the board by this point. Right?
JSN.
I mean,
JSN
they
or
might. They
Kincaid.
can use some more receiver help.
Right. I mean, if you flip flop it that way, then would Gibbs have been a reach at 18?
Could
Yeah,
you imagine
maybe,
that?
but less so.
JSN, Amon St. Ra, and Jamison Williams, if he comes back and he is what he's projected, holy Christ. That'd be something.
Or do they go quarterback?
They should. He's still sitting there. Richardson or Levitt. Yeah.
I'm going to guess either Kincaid or Levis.
Yeah, it'll probably be Kincaid. I think that is one thing they missed after. I mean, I never thought Hawkinson was that great or as good as, he had lived up to his draft status, but when they got rid of him, they were kind of missing that bigger target they could do stuff with.
They might have been, but didn't they still use a tight end all the time? Didn't they? Weren't they?
They did. They
highest
did.
percentage throwing to the tight end.
I mean, they did because Goff. That's what Goff does. Like Goff throws over the middle a lot. He runs that offense the way it's meant to be run, which is a lot of throws over the middle. And he, but those, the guys that they were throwing to, I mean, they were a tier below. They weren't ever guys that were going to do a hell of a lot with the ball or get open on their own in a tough spot. So to upgrade to a guy like Kincaid that is pretty much receiver skills and abilities, just a tiny bit slower, but a lot taller. I think that probably makes a lot of sense for them. Their pick is in already, by the way. But watch, I said all that, and then they'll pick some defensive guy. Who knows? Whatever.
So another comment in the chat. JJ said he thinks that they're going to take 2 edge. Or Lee said, "Do you think we double dip at edge?" And I don't think that would be a good pick for them at this point, unless they pick up somebody late. Right? I mean, picking 1 edge guy was a little bit of a reach. Taking 2 with your early picks, that I'd have a harder time swallowing.
Corey points out Lions are in a position to take best player available, he thinks. So, which, whatever, I guess, that's the Packers. The Packers apparently thought that's what the position they were in, but they have all these starters they need to draft. They need to draft at least 3 key guys on offense that are going to start or have significant playing time. And then they probably should draft 2 more guys on defense that are going to start. So they probably should draft 5 starters in this draft, but I don't know that it's going to happen.
Circling back, JJ just posted a comment saying they meant another late pick at edge, which
Oh yeah, okay,
fine. Later
that could be
round,
the case, yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's someone that can also contribute on special teams if you need a bigger body there. Great.
Man, the Packers they just don't disappoint to disappoint. It's like it's always the same damn story. We think it's like clear cut and obvious where they're gonna go, and then they always just throw a wrench into their own plans. I don't get it. It's so weird to me. Am I stupid? Like, somebody tell me this. I get the whole thing about best guy available and building, you got to project more than just this year. I totally get it. But tell me I'm crazy. Like, there's only 11 guys that can be on the field. Don't you want, like, as your early picks, and especially your first round pick, don't you want a guy who you expect to be on the field? I mean, I don't know. To me, that would be a factor, a huge factor, if I was selecting, because stacking up at these positions, unless you think you're going to be able to move guys, and get assets back from those positions, I don't understand the stacking so much at certain positions like they always like to do. It's weird to me.
Well, I think Andy Herman was talking a lot about that this past week, just best available. But, to my point earlier, where the Packers aren't rebuilding, at least I don't feel like they're rebuilding, but they're also thin at a lot of positions. And I think that means there's a lot of opportunity to draft somebody that, even if it's not an immediate impact, you're going to be able to work them in, get them some rotations, and certainly by next year, they could be a serious contributor. And, it doesn't make sense to, before Bakhtiari got hurt, would it have made sense to spend an early pick on a tackle? Probably not. With where things are at now, I still think that would be a decent pick if the right guy is there. Similarly, early pick on a quarterback, probably not the best move for them right now. Ooh, so...
What do I know? Another linebacker comes off the board. Jack Campbell from Iowa. Off the board.
Go Hawkeyes.
2 Hawkeyes in the first 18 picks. That's wild.
So where was Campbell expected to go? This seems like another bit of a reach. The Lions must have a different playbook than what I've been seeing.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know.
Or I didn't watch enough Iowa football this season. Maybe that's the problem.
The list that I have him as 60th best player.
No, he led the nation in tackles in 2021. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Lions defense needs a lot of help. I get it.
Yeah, again, if you're looking at who's available, and that's the guy you think is the best.
He's 6'5". He's 6'5", 250. So, I mean, and you need dudes. I prefer guys from the middle who can get in on more plays. I don't know. I understand, like, everybody loves edge players, but I think their impact on the game is just not big enough. I mean, look at edge players. I mean, what do they have? Like, guys that have a really good season, they average maybe 1 sack a game.
Yeah.
What's the impact overall? How many plays are in a game, right? How many snaps do they play? And then they end up making, like, okay, so we get like a great season, right? Would be 17, 18 sacks. Then we got some tackles for a loss. Then we got a couple plays like that from an edge guy. Just because, and it's not that they're not doing good things. It's just that in their position on the field and their responsibility and where they play, there's only so much you can get your nose in on. So I don't understand how the league is just enamored with edge players, because I just don't think they can impact the game enough. I don't get it. Maybe I'm dumb, but that's where I'm at.
I agree. I mean, having a real stud mobility, ability to read the play in the middle of the field, yeah, that can be a game changer, right? But I think you could look back, I guess, a generation of players now at this point if you guys remember when Javon Curse broke out onto the scene, right? I mean, that guy was running down plays from the opposite end of the line. So you see these freakish, athletic, fast, big, strong guys that are making plays like that and really disrupting things. Sure, I can see why that, as a defensive coordinator, think about having something like that on your team. And so maybe everyone's looking for that next guy that's going to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of them end up being well short of that, where, yeah, they can rush, but they suck against the run, or they're not coached to play against the run, or they're not big enough to stand up to the run. So, I can see the trap, and it's big, it's flashy. That's what gets attention. That's what gets, butts in seats. But yeah, I'm with you. The guy in the middle of the field, the old school field general, the Mike linebacker, that should be the heart and soul of the defense, right? They're going to be essentially involved on nearly every play, especially a running play. That's the guy that should be just crashing into that line. But maybe it's the evolution of the game, but it seems to be changing where there's not as much emphasis on that anymore.
All I know is this. Out of the 2 Iowa players that are drafted in this first round, there's one of them that I wanted to be a Packer, and the one that we took was not the one. That's all I'm going to say. One of them is a guy who makes a difference and can play and is just, the Lions got a steal. Well, it's not a steal. They took him. I think they took him too high. I think you could have gotten him in the second round. But I do think he's a good player, and this is a Chris Spielman pick. I mean, Chris Spielman's their general manager. He just picked himself, and that's what he picked. He picked another him, and that's what the Lions are looking at here. And the Packers took a guy who's doesn't even fit their system. He's not a 3-4 player. He's a 4-3 defensive end, and Kalijah Cansey's going to Tampa Bay to take over for Ndamukong Suh. There you go.
Except he's a lot smaller.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. He is way smaller. But I don't know. I just like the Jack Campbell pick. It's a little high, but my thing is this too. Like, if the Packers would have taken Darnell Washington at 13, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah, me too.
Because he's a playmaker. Play. Yeah, it would have helped him now, and he would make plays. Instead, they took a guy who, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. No, he's not even going to be a bad player. It's just the difference between Darnell Washington and every other tight end, his skills, there is no one like him. Van Ness, there's like a ton of guys that are just like him. And actually, there are guys who are smaller and faster, and there's guys who are bigger and stronger.
I would have taken Cansey over him.
I don't know if I would have done that.
Well, I mean, then
I will say this. I've read some things about Van Ness. They say even though he is 6'5", he does know how to lower his pads. He is able to get low. Like he's an aggressive player who knows how to get low. So that's good. But I don't know at 270 pounds, like, I mean, it's Rashawn Gary all over again.
Yeah.
Are we not gonna see the benefits of this pick until 2 years from now? And then by the time he's good. Then we got to pay him a crap ton of money, like we're gonna have to do with Rashawn Gary. It just bothers me because if I was a general manager of the Packers, I would use my first round pick on a guaranteed this guy's gonna play now and be the man, and then I would I would use a pick later on a freak of nature who maybe is raw and needs some time to develop. But the Packers always take the freak of nature who needs time to develop with the first pick, and then they go and try to take the safe pick later, and that guy just ends up being a guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, they got lucky with Zach Tom last year because he was just a guy. But he's a really good just guy. But in the past, they've drafted guys who were crap in the late rounds. And it's just dumb. So not only are we not going to get a benefit of our first-round pick again,
yep,
but we're going to get probably a guy later on who's not good enough to start the NFL, who's going to have to start in the NFL. So I don't know. And I hate to be a jerk to a young man he's got his dreams filled and Packer fans everywhere, or, whatever. But it doesn't make sense. Supply and demand, Goody. Supply and demand. He even said it himself. Oh, this is a very deep edge rushing class. Okay, let's take the first, second, whatever, how many third edge rusher off the board when there's like freaking 25 of them. God.
You know what would be really interesting is to go back and watch how many years we've been doing this live draft thing. And I think every year we say Packers should just trade their first round pick and get more late round picks because they suck at the first round. They do pretty good on the other ones, maybe not third, but all the other rounds they do all right on. But
Well,
the first they always
the first round's picks aren't bad. It's just, I mean,
could be better.
Rashad, like the last first round pick that we drafted, and actually the guy played and like was good right away before this last year was Jair. Because then we had Savage, he wasn't good. We had Gary, he didn't play for 2 years. Jordan Love, his first play in this year. Eric Stokes played right away, but he had to because Jair got hurt. And luckily, thank God we had this guy right here. Thank God we had this guy. Thank God we had this guy, or else we would have been screwed. And that's the thing. Like a lot of these guys, they end up like Gary's a good player.
Yeah.
But Elton Jenkins, they drafted in the second round, is a solid player who's dang good. Like that was an upside pick. That was this guy's good. We're going to take him, and he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move. A.J. Dillon, second round. Was he a superstar? No. He's a solid, good, hard-nosed running back with who's able to move the chains. Okay, guess what? He helped us out. But the first-round picks, we're waiting for 2-3 years before they finally get on the field and get some kind of freaking return on this crap. And other teams are drafting guys, and they're coming out and they're playing right away, and they're awesome. Or they're just busts. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of teams that have busts. At least we don't have a bust. It's just it takes us 2 or 3 years before we finally see Goody's pick mean something. And one of these years, Goody's going to make a pick, and then by the time that guy becomes good, he'll be gone. Because he kept drafting guys for 2 years from now, and then his year, when that guy finally becomes good, the 2 years is going to be 2 years, a year after Goody gets canned, because he kept drafting for 2 years from now instead of drafting for right now.
Maybe that will be different this year out of necessity, though. Right? If Rashawn Gary was healthy and they made this pick, I would have more of an issue with it.
Yeah.
But coming in, Rashawn Gary's going to be out at least half a season. There's no reason that this kid's not going to get an opportunity to play. You know, okay, so even coming in, if they want to play it safe, don't make him the starter from day one. They got an Igbare opposite of Preston. Fine, but there should be plenty of opportunity for this guy to get rotations, more so than what Rashawn had during his rookie season.
Yeah, because they
so
just
if
both those guys.
they don't give him an opportunity, even with what they're up against now, if they bring in some crusty vet, whatever, and don't let him play, then it's stupid. And I agree with what you're saying for the most part, because most of their picks are like that, Ben. And I don't love the Van Ness pick, but I think it is a little bit different in this case just because there is opportunity this season that would not normally be there.
Well, this pick will make a crap load of sense to me if they decide to not do what they always do, which is don't give Rashawn Gary a whole bunch of money coming off a big injury.
They will.
I know they will, because that's what they do with Jair.
Well,
that's what they do with Jenkins. That's what they do with everybody.
The interesting thing is they still have $12 million in cap space as of right now, which is enough to probably sign their draft class. And also have a little bit of extra money if something weird happens that they need.
How many starters do they need out of this draft? Or significant playing time people, starters are going to be on the field a lot.
Okay, well, they need 3 on offense.
Yep.
They need some sort of offensive wide receiver slot guy.
Yep.
They need a starting tight end who in line. Now, that slot guy could also be a move tight end. So either one of those. But an in-line tight end, and then some sort of offensive lineman, preferably a tackle, but it could be a guard, or a center for that matter.
Right.
To help, because the guys that they have besides Zach Tom stink that are behind the starters.
Yep.
And some of their starters stink. On defense, they really need a safety, but I like Rudy Ford, and I think they're going to start Savage, so they probably don't think they need a safety. So that's dumb. They don't need any corners. They don't need any linebackers like the start. And what they needed, I guess, was the defensive line help. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible move, but all their needs are on offense, and they address defense again. So is this defense better be the greatest defense of all time, because all they do is keep drafting first-round picks on defense, and it doesn't do you any good. Like, how many times are they going to do that? And then, like, I don't know. And I understand the thought. Because on offense, you can draw up your play. So you can scheme guys open. And now that we don't have Aaron Rodgers to ruin everything, we might actually have a guy who runs the plays, and then guys will get open, and then we can move the ball and all that kind of stuff. So the scheme is important, and the players are not as important on offense, I believe. And on defense, yeah, sometimes I think defense, physical freaks, and athletic traits lead over scheme more often than not. So I understand the process of, hey, let's get our highest picks on the defensive players because that is something where they have to be able to react and read and make plays on the field. And it's less about scheme than it is about, making plays. So that's cool. But eventually you got to get something. You got to help the offense a little bit. And I know they traded up last year and got Christian Watson, which is great, with the number 34 pick, which is practically a first-round pick, and that's fine. That's great. Like, everybody complains there's no first-round picks. Well, 34 is 2 away from first round, so shut up, everybody who says they don't go and get a first-round wide receiver. That's damn close. But they have weaknesses on offense and starters that are needed, and they're not filling them with good players that are there. And instead, they're taking a guy who's going to be a rotation on the defensive line who is probably fine when there's multiple players at that same position available in the draft that are good. Now, this guy has a super high ceiling, and that's what Goody's going for. And yeah, Preston Smith will probably be gone after this year, so he'll probably be starting alongside Gary. That's great. But it's just another one of those things where it doesn't, and I know we're in a build, retool year. I get it all. But once in a while, we just want to see him do the thing that we all want to see him do. Just one time.
There goes JSN.
Seahawks, where you can get some crappy balls thrown down from Geno Smith. All right.
Damn. I was holding out hope that we'd sneak back in.
Nah, I think Goody's going to sit where he's at.
Yeah, 2 second rounders.
Because nobody's taken a tight end yet.
No.
So as soon as the tight ends start going, like if there's a big run in him, he might jump back in.
Well, Chargers take one. Are the Vikings going to take a quarterback? 24?
I'm thinking so.
I don't know.
Maybe Will Levis, the second coming of Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
He's way better than Ben Roethlisberger. He's not just a big fat slob. He's actually got athleticism. Here's a guy I like in the second round. Are you ready? Steve Avila.
Guard?
Yes. I love him. He's 23 years old, though. They'll never take him.
JJ said Packers should trade up to get JSN. Oh, and then JSN gone. Well, they have ammunition. They could have moved back up and got him if they wanted.
Yeah, they could have.
But they probably didn't. They just must not have wanted. Maybe Bo Melton is the man. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe they think
it's not bad. It's just
Bo knows.
Maybe they think he's gonna do it. He's gonna hold it down right there. They don't need this guy. Okay, so in this draft, in total, they need to draft at least 2 tight ends, right?
Yep.
2
wide receivers.
2 wide receivers
because they only have 4 or 5 on the roster right now,
and they're almost all of them are second-year guys.
They need another quarterback. They only have what's his face on the roster right now besides Love.
Etling.
Yeah.
Okay. And they need some offensive linemen. Okay. And probably another safety somewhere in the mix, or another defensive back at least. Corner or safety.
Kicker.
Come on.
They do need a kicker. They don't have one.
Mason's out?
He hasn't been re-signed, I don't think.
Come on. I thought he wanted to keep playing. If he wants to keep playing, they'll bring him back for 1 more year.
Why?
He's expensive.
Just to piss off Rodgers. I'll be like,
send him to the Jets. Let him go to the Jets.
This old guy is good enough to come back, but not you. I don't know. Mason will come back. He'll just have to. Hey, he's got like 10 kids. So once he starts seeing all the bills, he's gonna be like, "Damn, I got to take some money." So he'll lower his price. And they'll bring him back.
Be right back, boys.
And you don't have to draft a kicker. You can always just grab one. It doesn't matter, right? So, but they got a lot of players they need to draft, like positions they need to draft. This is why it's so weird to me that I don't know. They can't be doing just whatever BPA all the time. I just don't get it. That kid's a productive player. They could have probably should have got him.
Yeah. They totally should have got him.
Well, they don't.
So
What if they grab Kincaid? Will we be okay with that? If they come back in and get him?
they're going to have to now.
He could fill the role.
Or Musgrave. One of those two. Now, there are other guys, other receivers that are pretty cool. Let me see if I can find who I thought I liked that are similar. They're not quite Jackson Smith and Jigba types, but they're close. But it's like, let's see here. Lead the league in receptions. That's what Joel Klatt's saying on NFL Network right now. That's what Jackson Smith and Jigba will one day lead the league in receptions.
Will Levis, he's getting ready. He's up. He's getting ready for his name to be called pretty soon by the Vikings.
Is he going to reassess that statement, knowing that Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to Seattle?
I don't know.
I don't even know who are the Chargers taking here. They got some.
They could go tight end.
Are there any good
Yeah.
linemen left? They definitely need linemen as well. They're weak on the O-line. But they also need some skilled receivers. There aren't that many of them. Maybe they surprise you with like little Zay Flowers.
They're going
or
to take
something.
Kincaid.
You think so? They're taking Kincaid? Probably. All right.
Yeah. They're going to take Kincaid to help out.
Well, Justin Herbert will like that.
The run on O lineman happened a little sooner than I was expecting it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Now, one other thing, just in contrast, the Lions had 2 first-round picks. They're both going to play for him right away. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I don't get it.
All right. Raj says, "Our Chargers fan excited?" They're excited. Yeah, they're excited. It is Quentin Johnson from TCU. I didn't really like him much. I don't
like him
a big
either.
fan.
Not a fan.
Skinny, tall, can't do a lot. Can't really change direction well. He's not that
Says he's
fast.
208 pounds. It's not that skinny.
Well, he looks skinny because he's like, hey, what do you? How many pounds are you?
About 50 pounds more than that.
Well, then if he's standing next to you, he looks skinny. What do you want?
That's fair.
I did some research on some of these wideouts, and I wasn't that jazzed about most of them either. And that's what the whole class was talking. It's weird. Another first-round wideout in a group of wideouts. It's really not. I don't know.
Dude, what is the strength of this class? Edge rushers, just by
Tight
default.
end.
Yes.
And tight ends, yeah. Yeah, and tight ends, yeah. I mean,
Edge
this guy's-
rusher. Good thing we drafted an edge rusher with our first pick, seeing so there's so many good ones.
He's almost
Nolan
6'3".
Smith still out there?
Yeah, he's out there.
So
But he
really,
doesn't, he'll never be a Packer. Packers don't take a guy who's 234 pounds at edge rusher because they'd rather have the guy who's 270 pounds and can't ever cover or move in space or just they just want a big, huge guy who's not good against holding up against the run, can barely get pressure on the quarterback, doesn't have any actual moves.
how big was Jamal Reynolds?
Ooh.
I don't even remember.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
You just brought up a name I've actually forgotten. I've mentioned a lot of first round picks the Packers made, and I totally forgotten about him.
Rick was supposed to bring up the trivia tonight, and one of the
I was
trivias
busy.
were how many. So this guy, Quinn Johnson. I mean, one thing I'll give him is he does go up and he does attack the ball pretty well. So that's something. But he doesn't do much other than run straight most of the time. Now maybe that's all they asked him to do at TCU was run straight. I don't know. Maybe that's all the Chargers will ask him to do is run straight. Justin Herbert will just throw it up there, go get it. I don't know. Maybe that's their plan. But I wasn't a big fan because I didn't think he could do much changing direction.
All right, Ben. Here's some support for you. I remember Jamal Reynolds being too small for the Packers, a defensive end back in the day. When was he drafted? Like 90 something. He was listed at 6'3", 260. So that's pretty big compared to some of these guys that are edge rushers now.
I know. But the Packers don't take a guy who's less than 260 at edge rusher anymore.
Yeah, they take huge guys. They like
Which
the
is funny,
biggies.
but who's their best edge rusher over the last 20 years?
Clay Matthews.
And how much did he weigh?
Like
249
240 something.
soaking wet.
240,
249
250.
soaking wet.
With his hair wet.
Yeah, with his hair wet, he was 249. Yet they keep going after Zadarius and Preston and free agency, who are both 260 plus. Gary, who's 270. This guy who's 270. It's just the reason why I hate it is because there's no surprise as to what they're going to do. The whole point of the 3-4 defense is, hey, we got a bunch of linebackers. We don't know where they're coming from. Look out. Here they come. But with the Packers defense, everybody knows exactly what they're going to do. It's so stupid. Even a moron like Aaron Rodgers could pick it apart. Oh, wait, did I say that? Oopsie.
So
Greatest thrower of the football, though. Greatest thrower of the football. Not a great quarterback.
On defense, they draft players for certain roles, and on offense, I don't know what they do. They just don't draft players for a bunch of roles, and then they fill them in with undrafted guys. Got it. Check. I understand now.
I just realized this draft is not as fun when the Packers draft high because now we got nothing to do other than complain about the draft pick. Where in the past we were excited for the most of the draft, and then we only complained for like the last little bit.
Yeah, you'd run out of time. Draft would be done before we'd be done complaining.
I know.
I'm probably finished beer and but I'm pooped.
You got to see who the
That's right,
Vikings are going to
gotcha.
pick here. Vikings going to pick a quarterback?
Well, I'll make it. I still got a little bit of beer.
Oh yeah,
Will
Vikings will
Levis?
take Will Levis for sure.
Okay.
If
He's
he
been
falls
waiting.
all the way to 23, they'll pick him.
He's been waiting.
They'll pick him if he falls to that pick.
They'll get rid of their best quarterback in franchise history, Kirk Cousins, for him.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what's your prediction for the Ravens? They going receiver?
They might take Nolan Smith.
They might take
They
Kincaid.
don't need Nolan Smith. Yeah, I like Nolan Smith.
They'll probably
They won't
go,
take Kincaid.
come on. And then they'll
Gonna be
just throw over
Kincaid.
the middle of the field all day long. Mark Andrews, Kincaid.
They just got Beckham Jr. They got to make sure he
Beckham
gets 1,000 targets,
Jr.
so he's going to whine and
Yeah.
complain about it. So they can't possibly get another receiver in the first round because he'll complain
That's
about not
true.
getting targets.
Fine. Big
Their
B.
pick will
Unless
be
he's
Nolan
hurt again.
Smith. I agree with
Yeah.
that because Nolan Smith. He's or Brian Branch. I could see either one of those two guys.
Joey
That's a
Porter.
Ravens defense type guy.
Joey Porter?
They like fast guys on defense for the most part.
And that's Nolan Smith then. He's like faster than crap. See,
Good
the Packers
thing
would have drafted him.
Him and Quay Walker be bouncing off each other. They wouldn't know.
I would have loved that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I would have went nuts for that.
They'd have been tripping
Not
over
bad,
each
that
other.
It's all right. I'll take it. They could trip each other.
They'd have been chaos.
Beautiful chaos. It's be a beautiful mystery.
Shoot.
So with looking into the
Beautiful, man.
Vikings pick, it wouldn't surprise me if they went quarterback, but with Thielen being gone, do they look at a receiver?
No,
Zay Flowers.
there's too many little tiny receivers. They could get a little tiny receiver anytime.
Yeah.
The Vikings are dumb, but they're not as dumb as the Packers. When a quarterback who is supposed to go in the top 10 falls down to you at 23, you take him. You know?
Yeah, because they haven't had they've taken what? They've taken quarterbacks second, third round a couple times
Yeah, they
during
took
the last
that one guy
handful of
last
years.
year.
Kellen
Who's the guy last
Mond
year?
or whatever.
Kellen Mond, yeah.
And they
years
hated
ago.
him. They're like, this guy's terrible. Get him the hell out of
I
here.
even wore his jersey when they drafted him. Remember, I put on what the old Dante Culpepper Jesse had, number 11, just for him.
So yeah, I think you're right. The Vikings are like, well, we got to do it in the first round here. And if this is the guy that was supposed to be top 10, we better take him. And they hate Kirk Cousins, even though he's their best quarterback of all time they've ever had.
Mhm. He is.
I mean,
well,
aside from Brett Favre for like one season, but
yeah, Brett Favre. What about Fran Tarkentank?
I guess he was all right. But did he ever complete 80% of his passes in a playoff game like Kirk Cousins?
Are you kidding me? He didn't complete like 10% of his
I know.
passes.
He was like
just ran
50.
around all like crazy guy.
I know. Kirk Cousins is their best quarterback they've ever had. They hate him. They want to get rid of him all the time.
So could somebody trade in front of the Vikings right now? Is that what they're waiting on to get that quarterback?
No, pick's in.
Okay, then the answer is no.
Says
Kirk
the pick
Cousins
is
had
in.
what?
It's
did
probably
Kirk
Nolan
Cousins have?
Smith.
Kirk Cousins had 15 comeback wins in the last.
He's got more comeback wins than Aaron Rodgers has in his career.
I know. He had
Just heads up.
15 in like the last 2 years or something.
Because when Aaron Rodgers is behind, he gives up. Oh, snap.
Oh, man. Corey says he's got one for you. He says, anyone ever notice how much RG3 sounds like Andre 3000? Woo! I think that's what he was going for. Kelly Packer says, Ben, who
What?
you want tomorrow?
I don't know.
We're trying to
want
digest
Washington.
this. Yeah. Well, we got to get a tight end tomorrow there.
And
Kelly
Steve
Packer.
Avila.
Baltimore took Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
He's so small. Damn, that guy's small.
Why is nobody taking Nolan Smith? What's the problem here?
Too small.
Maybe the
wait.
Vikings will.
Well, maybe they watched and saw, JOK from
Wow.
the other
Zay
draft.
Flowers.
Like,
Zay Flowers, are you ready? Listen to this.
he's tiny as hell.
His first year, he had 103 targets, and he only caught 55 of them.
Whew.
His second year, he had 82 targets, only caught 44 of them. Last year, he had 124 targets, only caught 78 of them. So either his quarterback is really bad, or he has really crappy hands.
Or they're all like 70-yard bombs.
Yeah, well.
Or more than one of the above.
Double D
know-
was a tiny little guy.
Yeah, but Double D could jump, and he was a little taller than this
Double
guy.
D
This guy's
was
only
3 inches taller than this guy.
5'7" or something, 5'9",
He's a
right?
skinny little thing. No,
He's 5'9", 182, it says.
He's tiny as hell, and he ain't no 182. He was like 166 up until right before the draft, right? I think when he was playing college, and they put him wait for the combine or whatever.
Probably.
But he's still
He was
tiny as
40.
hell.
Do you know how fast he is? I don't think he was as fast as Ruggs or some of those other small guys that have come out recently.
No,
think
but
so.
he's super shifty. He can get open, but will he last if he gets hit? I don't know about that.
Not if
will-
Christian Gonzalez is landing on him.
Christian Gonzalez, that was the one. It stuck out to me so hard. He's not an aggressive defense player. It's weird. Vikings on the clock. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Will Levis. Will Levi's.
Will the Vikings draft a quarterback?
I'll say this about Zay Flowers. He looks faster than crap.
He's super
he's-
quick.
He's
Super.
agile, too. Like his routes, he moves quick in his routes. Like he makes guys look stupid.
Yeah, he doesn't piss around. He's like, he can change direction super fast, and he is quick as hell. No doubt.
Thank God he didn't get drafted by the Vikings. So that would have been
Yeah,
bad to see that. He would have made all of our corners look really stupid.
Oh my God, his quarterback's terrible.
Well, that explains why he only caught 50% of his passes then.
Like, he just threw him a quick out, and that ball was like wobbly as hell and a piece of garbage. Like, that was terrible. Well, maybe Zay Flowers will be the real deal. Who knows? He'll definitely get open. I just don't know if he'll be durable enough to hold up, but we'll see.
It's interesting that they draft this guy after they get they just signed Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
And
Because they still got Bateman on the team.
right, Bateman. I was gonna say.
I think they still got Hollywood Brown on the team, though I know he hasn't really panned out, but he's still there.
No, but there's a younger guy that did okay last year too. That was
Well, they have Devin Duvernay. I liked him. He was a kick returner with speed. They're trying to compare him to Steve Smith Sr. on the NFL Network. He's not Steve Smith Sr.
Steve Smith was
Steve Smith was
Compact,
aggressive
but he was
and a
pretty muscular.
badass. Yeah, this guy's a scrawny runt.
I don't know. I guess you're going to be paying your quarterback $250 million over the next 5 years. You want to make sure he's got someone to throw the ball to.
I guess so. Quarterback, quarter bill.
I'll take
That
Christian
was-
Watson over this.
That way he's not running all the time, getting killed.
Yeah, I wonder what Van Ness's S2 score was. Must have been high.
There you go.
Because we know
I
that
was
has
trying
a
to find
factor.
the S2 sample questions to work you guys over with, but I couldn't find any.
It's not just questions. It's like actual cognitive, like there's physical things involved as well, I think.
Ooh.
So it's more than just verbal or like test. It's weird. Will Levis is getting nervous.
Wonder if the Vikings will draft Dalton Kincaid here. That makes sense.
Well, looking
No,
ahead, like if
With
Levis
TJ
doesn't go,
yeah.
Yeah, they just got TJ Hawkinson, you idiot.
I know it's a Packer move. That's what the Packers would do. They would just
Who's-
made a big move, trade for a tight end. They draft a tight end. What the
If-
hell is going on?
if Levis doesn't go to the Vikings, how far is he going to fall? Jaguars aren't going to take him. Giants aren't going to take him. Cowboys probably won't take him.
Cowboys aren't taking him.
Bills aren't going to take him. Bengals
Bills
aren't going
aren't
to take
taking
him.
him. Bengals aren't
Saints aren't
taking
going to take him. Eagles aren't going to take him. Chiefs aren't going to take him. I mean, seriously, how many billions of dollars is tied up in quarterbacks in these next like 7 teams drafting?
Yeah, well, somebody will trade up in one of those bottom spots and get them probably like 31 or 30. Well, here's the thing. The Vikings are either taking a receiver or they're taking Will Levis.
All right. I just have to say this. Zay Flowers is not that much bigger than Susie Culver. I'm just saying.
That's not good.
Where's Mo? Get Mo to call in here so we can heckle him.
I don't know why. Why is he coming on? What the hell?
He's
What's
a
with him?
baby. I don't know. He doesn't want to know what the Vikings. He doesn't want to own up to what the Vikings are going to do. You know what they're going to do.
Well, he's still mad over the fact that they didn't take Mac Jones all those years ago,
Yep.
and they took Kellen Mond instead. Should have took Mac Jones. Then they could watch him yell and complain about the play calling and stuff, just like he did with the Bill Belichick.
Maybe they'll miss their pick again.
Yeah. Where's Javo? Whatever Sev now? What the hell? Where's his ass on here talking shit like the other day? Let's go, Javo.
I don't know. Jago was going to
Or
say
Jago, whatever his name
talk
is.
a lot of trash. They think it might be Hooker. Maybe they'll take Hooker.
That guy's like, you might as well take Tanner Morgan.
Ooh. Yeah, Jahan Dotson. Yes, Lee, I love Jahan Dotson. He was a guy I wanted for the pack.
He would be pretty good.
I think Dotson was bigger than Flowers, though.
Yeah, because he's like 6 foot
Yeah.
and about 190 or.
But yeah, Jahan Dotson is a smooth son of a gun. He's like Greg Jennings. He would have been amazing as a Packer. But now he has to toil away with the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
I think the Vikings are
Trash
going to miss their
quarterback.
pick. It's down to 45 seconds here on my TV. I don't know.
Oh, no. It says the pick is in. Pick is in. Pick is in.
Oh, okay. They made it. They got it in.
Will Levis is standing and waiting. He's standing and waiting. He's excited. Vikings are clapping. The Vikings, all the people in their room are clapping. They're super excited about this pick. They're very excited. I don't know who all these people are, but they're all celebrating. They all think they've made a very good choice. Even this
Has
old
anyone in the NFL
stodgy
tried
guy.
to draft someone who was already picked?
You got some serious Minnesotans here, fans. They look very much like people from Minnesota. They're very excited about their pick coming up here.
Muhammad Ibrahim,
Running back?
the Gophers running back.
I think they could get him in like the 4th round
Yeah, probably.
or later. But I wouldn't put it past Kwesi, Doso, Ganofa, whatever the crap his name is, because he does a lot of dumb crap.
At least he didn't do like 5 trades already.
He usually does. Oh, they're clapping up.
They're very excited in Minnesota. They're very excited about this pick. Man, even more celebratory things. Looks like Travis Else just came into the room. That dude looks like Travis right there.
The camera?
One of the guys. No, he was wearing a suit.
Is Keenan McCardell on their coaching staff?
I don't know. There's
I just saw Keenan
Ziggy.
McCardell.
Ziggy
If he's
Wilf.
their wide receiver coach, that's pretty good. I wish the Packers had a coach that was actually an ex-player instead of some random guy named Jason.
Easy.
I don't know why this guy.
That's why I
I
said
don't know
that there's two Jasons in this. I was like, hey, yeah.
There's one guy who's just taking photos, and that guy's ripped. Man, how do you get so ripped as a photographer? I don't
You
get
got
it.
to hold the camera.
The equipment's
Damn.
heavy.
Hey, I know you were the talent back in the day when you worked as a TV guy. I was a TV guy. I had to carry that camera. That son of a gun is heavier than crap.
That's why you're so ripped, Ben.
Not anymore.
Just say it
I
shows
I
now.
was then.
Vikings are celebrating Jordan
Wide
Addison.
receiver Jordan Addison.
Addison. Wow,
He's
I
pretty
didn't
good.
Even...
But he's only 173 pounds, so all we got to do is beat the snot out of him.
There you go.
Take
Just
my
don't-
guy, Rasul Douglas, on him and just go like this. Smack him in the freaking head, and he'll be knocked out.
Play some old school bump and run, and
Wow,
shut the
that is
Vikings
some
down.
terrible sunglasses he's wearing right now.
He
Well,
looks so
that's-
skinny. What the?
Well,
That's
now there's a
okay.
run on what is that? 4 receivers in a row?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
There's
didn't
no
want-
doubt.
chance.
I didn't really want any of them. Say Flowers maybe, but yeah, these
Jaguars
other guys.
taking a tight end. Come on, someone's got to do it.
I don't know.
Packers are getting lucky. Here's what's gonna happen. Same shit that happens to the Packers all the time.
There's
they
still
screw up
20
that
picks
first-
for their next pick.
They screw up that first pick, and then somebody good still hangs around for them when they pick their second pick, and they luck out. That's what's gonna happen again.
They might still have their choice of 2 or 3 of the tight ends by that point.
Jesus, let's hope so.
I don't know, man.
Who does Jacksonville have a tight end?
Nobody.
Ingram? No. And where did Ingram go?
Oh no, they got what's his face from the Giants. Evan Ingram. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They picked him up last year after the Giants gave up on him. Then he had a big year.
Oh my God, I would not draft this guy. 5'11",
Yeah, look at this.
173.
Yeah, he's a wimp.
He's a
Why? What the hell?
Hey, I'm 5'11" and I'm 215. I'd kick the crap out of this guy. I'd sit on him.
you'd have to catch him first.
I'd catch him. I'd use my ingenuity. I'd set traps. I'd put a fine babe there and he'd slow down. I'll pay somebody money to stand there and look good and he'd slow down.
Wow. Good thing the Vikings are dumb. They'll stay in mediocrity again. Nice. And now they'll still be in a spot where they'll have to decide if they're going to pay Kirk Cousins more money or what they're going to do.
I like Zay Flowers more than this guy.
Yeah, a lot more.
Just looking at the film here.
He's so small. Oh my God.
Mo did not want them to take a wide receiver. Could have had Will Levis, Mo.
Oh man.
Maybe the Packers will. Now he said they want a defensive stud. They should have taken Nolan Smith. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, I would have liked that pick better from the Viking standpoint.
Nolan Smith on the turf. Whew. You talk about destroying everybody.
Well, they've always had a fast linebacker. They need one now.
Damn, the Giants pick is in too. Packers are running out of spots here if they want to get back in.
Jaguars and the Giants. There's a trade. Oh, the Giants
They
traded up
traded.
24. They traded one spot.
I wonder why.
Why do you trade up one spot?
I don't know.
Because you're the,
Because you're dumb and you want to give somebody a free pick because you're stupid?
I guess.
Like, it's obvious if that team trades with you, it's because they don't want the guy that you want that's there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. I never understood the one move, whatever trade.
even the Packers leapfrogging 2 spots was kind of like
Yeah, but that wasn't for anybody. That was just they wanted. I mean, and
Just to
obviously,
say
it
they got
really
something?
mattered when they took Van Ness because, oh my God, they could have never had him at 15.
well, it just seemed like a throw in. Like, all right, this is just to say we got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee's worried now that the Packers are going to play their 6-7 yard off defense and just let all these little quick receivers get free releases. Yeah, you're right, Lee. They need to play bump and run, smack the crap out of them, or else we're going to get screwed.
Yeah, just do it. Oh, Messerschmitt, Vikings will just outscore other teams.
I don't know, Matt. I think
Not with their
I don't
quarterback they hate.
Who's their running back?
yeah, they don't even know. They don't want Dalvin Cook anymore.
The Packers have a real
Alexander
opportunity
Madison.
here. The Vikings are definitely going to take a step back. The Packers have an opportunity, man. This is just crazy. But they got to have players to fill all the positions they need to play with.
Okay, but like I could see Dallas is going to take a tight end.
They will?
They lost Dalton Schultz. They're going to take if Mayer falls there, they'll take him for sure.
But you know how little McCarthy uses a tight end. Why would they take one?
Because it's Jerry, and he is a first
Jerry.
tight end. So Jerry wants the first of the best.
If it's Jerry, he's going to take Darnell Washington. Jerry loves big hype.
Ah, Jerry, no, don't do it.
I don't know. Yeah. And I could
Unless-
see the
Where did
Bengals
Dalton
taking a
Kincaid
tight
play?
end.
Did Dalton Kincaid play with like Oklahoma or something? If he went to Oklahoma, he's
No,
drafted by the
Utah.
Cowboys.
He's
Utah.
Utah.
Okay, he'll take Darnell Washington from Georgia.
Well, who did the Giants take here?
I don't know. I haven't seen yet.
They
It
got.
doesn't
They need.
tell me nothing.
I mean, they need help at a lot of spots, but
Giants took Blake Martinez. Oh wait, he's selling Pokemon cards.
no.
Is he?
Yeah, he made
That's his
$5
job
million selling Pokemon cards.
Damn. Nice job, Big Blake. 50.
They were his Pokemon cards?
I don't know. He just retired from football to sell Pokemon cards.
Smart.
I want to retire from football to sell Pokemon cards.
You got-
Actually, I got a bunch of cards I'd like to sell. Lord of the Rings,
Woo.
World of Warcraft.
Whoa.
yeah, but don't buy more crap after you sell them.
Oh, that's not the
don't.
Hafeman way.
I'm just got to sell. Listen, Rick. After we went home and were trying to get crap out of my mom and dad's house, I am not buying anything ever again. I know what it's like to see a whole lot of crap everywhere. And I don't want it. I already got that here. I don't want more crap. My mom and dad's house was full of crap. We bought a 30-foot dumpster, 30 feet by 6 feet,
It's 20 yard.
whatever. It was super freaking humongous.
That's pretty
And it
big.
was full. It was full in like 3 hours.
That's
And then we
'cause
still
work
kept
so
pulling
fast.
crap out of the dang out of the attic. Jason kept pulling crap down. It was craziness.
Did you build a slide so you could just throw it out the window?
No,
Would have been nice. No.
we don't
would've
use
been
slides.
nice.
We just go right off the roof. Remember?
Yeah.
We just slide right off the roof. We weren't the smartest kids. You ever hear about that story, Rick?
That's for sure.
No.
But
You ever heard that
hey,
story?
didn't we
I don't
have Chad?
remember it.
Didn't we have Chad Lacrosse go down first? Like
No,
you
Chad
didn't.
went
you-
after me. I
Oh,
went
really?
first.
You went first because you were the
We
oldest.
took
probably.
we took the snow tubes, the snow tube,
Ah, that's smart.
and we took them out on the roof of the garage because there's that one window in the hallway we can get out, or Jason's window in his bedroom. And we took the snow tubes out there, and then we would snow tube off the roof into the big pile of snow on the ground.
Oh, Giants fans are super excited that they just got Devontae Banks or Deontay Banks. I'm sorry,
Deontay Banks, cornerback.
cornerback from Maryland. Well, I'll tell you what, your safety from Maryland a couple years ago blows. So I guess this guy's gonna be better.
Wow, that's he's lower on the consensus here.
There's some weird picks in this
That's
first
kind
round.
of
I gotta
oh no,
say
he's
it.
not. He's pretty high on here. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
There's always
The Bills
this
are on the
isn't-
clock. The Jags trade again with the Bills.
Damn.
Just hopping down, huh?
I'm more and more concerned with every draft pick that the Packers really screwed this up.
What are the Bills going to do?
Well, they traded up for a reason. They don't need a tight end. Maybe Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
Oof.
Maybe
They wouldn't have needed to
Joy
trade
Porter
him.
Jr.
They wouldn't have had to trade him for-
I thought their linebackers were pretty young.
They did lose their line. They lost their inside linebacker, but I don't think there's an inside linebacker to take here.
It's annoying when you trade up, then just make your pick because you traded up to get somebody. So let's go get this stuff going.
This is obviously the guy they want.
Right?
Yeah, like, what are they
It's
doing?
weird.
Like, come on.
You know, like some of these sites do the thing like make your picks for the first round, or like you were sent out in that email, I guess. Do you think anybody's going to get all 32 picks right in this one with like the 8,000 trades getting passed around?
No way.
There's no way anyone's going to pick this. Come on.
No, I think I got 4 picks right total.
I don't think I got any right.
And actually, you're not going to like this. I had the Packers taking Van Ness at 13.
Why would you do that? Why?
I didn't say that's what I wanted. I said that's
Yeah.
what I
Why would you do that? You made
Hey,
it.
Agnes,
You made it come true.
the owners-
What's
Let me
wrong
tell
with
you,
you?
there was once an old guy who yells a lot who said the Packers were going to take Jordan Love 3 years ago,
Wasn't me.
and he willed it into existence, and then we had this whole fiasco happen after that.
The owners have spoken.
Dang it!
I'm not
That's
proud
true.
of it.
I'm not an owner. I can't really say much.
That's
can I?
not the pick that I wanted at that point. But
You know what happened?
I hope he's good.
I didn't watch draft day today. I usually watch draft day every draft day. Dang it! I was too tired after work. I took a nap for 3 hours.
I mean, it was all
couldn't
set
handle
up for the. It was all set up for the Packers. I don't get it. 2 running backs go before their pick.
I know.
All those 3 quarterbacks right away. Some offensive tackles. Okay. A guard. Like, come on, man.
Look at all the defensive ends we could have gotten at pick 42.
Yeah,
They're still there.
they're all there.
There's like
Are
3
there-
of them that are gone.
There's hardly
Nolan Smith, Miles Murphy, Felix and Duque Umazama. Who else we got? That one guy.
That one guy.
Where's that other guy? There he is.
Yeah.
And Antigua Abun
Out of Northwestern. Keon White.
Keon White. Nick Herbig. But he's from Wisconsin. They'll never take him.
Yeah, there are more options there than there were at receivers. Could have started the receiver run.
Even though Herbig's a 21-year-old at 6'2", 240-pound junior. Pass rushing grades of 91.1 and 91.4 in the last 2 seasons. Wow.
I forget who did Andy Herman say that graded out as a 10 for tight ends? Did you watch it or no?
I don't know.
Well, he said somebody graded out as a 10, 10.0. Later round prospect guy, but
Oh, that's Zach Kuntz. Zach Kuntz. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's 6'7" and he ran like a 4.5. It was crazy how fast he was.
Has he got weight on him or is he
No, he's like 200 and nothing pounds. No, he's like 250. But yeah, that's the guy. Zach Kuntz was, because he was a guy I fell in love with at first too, and then I watched the tape and I was like, okay, he's just really tall and skinny and
can't catch?
No, he can catch.
Yeah.
But he's not like
elusive.
Something like that. I mean, his 6'7", 255, and he's 24 years old, almost 23. But he ran really fast, so you know. Oh, tight end. The Bills took Dalton Kincaid.
Really?
That's what it says.
Well, Knox ain't going to be happy with that.
You got it? Oh, man. Well, Levis, he's still sitting there. Come on, guys. Somebody pick me.
He's not getting picked. Saints, maybe?
Picked anymore at this point.
Cowboys are going to take Michael Mayer or or Darnell Washington. Now all the tight ends are going to come off, and the Packers will have nothing.
Come on.
Of course, maybe the Saints will take Levis. Carr's no
They
spring
might.
chicken.
That would suck for Carr though.
It's the story of his career. Though, right?
Yeah.
Always something to screw him.
That's just sad.
Mm.
You think Goody's trying to get back up here?
He should be.
Kincaid.
Here's the thing: if he's already got his pass rusher, there's no need to have 2 picks in the second
That's
round.
Buffalo
because-
edition. Sorry, we
Don
knew that one. My computer's
Kincaid.
slow.
He's like in Buffalo, New York. The weather's similar to what it was in Utah, so I'll be about the same. Exciting.
All right, one more beer. You talked me into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, me too then.
Woohoo. All right. Well, interesting here. So the Packers do not get the receiving help they need over the middle. Maybe they just think Bo Melton and the guys they got are going to be able to do it. I don't know.
All right, I know we bag on Minnesota and things that suck, but something good for Minnesota:
What is it?
drinking Tom's Lager.
Whoa.
One best of show. This is the best craft beer in Minnesota at the moment. Good brewery, close to my home. Good people.
Cool. Is Tom the first name or last name?
It is the first name.
Oh, okay.
Tom Berg, guy I knew who before going into professional brewing. But I think it's their take on something like Hams. It's Falling Knife Brewery, not too far from Mo's house. So, next week maybe get some Falling Knife to bring up there.
Yeah, I like Kincaid. I like Kincaid a lot. He's a unique player.
He's the perfect play. If you can't get JSN, you get him. Well, now you got neither. Good job, Goody. You got a guy that you could have had a million other guys just like him. Awesome. What do you want, child? I'm live. Watching the Packers.
He's got
do
strong
stupid crap.
hands. He's pretty damn shifty. He can
What are you doing?
run after the catch, which the Packers haven't had a tight end that can run after the catch since when? When was the last time Ben? Bubba Franks?
Bubba Franks, he can run.
I know. Jermichael Finley kind of could. He was
Michael
right.
Finley was good after the catch.
Yeah.
He couldn't block with their crap, but
right.
I do remember the draft when they took Bubba Franks, and I felt probably worse than I do now. So.
That's true.
You didn't want a first round Franks? Come on, everybody loves a first round Franks.
Yeah, especially you. You had a Frank for a dog or something.
Yeah.
At one time.
Doesn't mean you make a good tight end.
Yeah, but if your dog's name is Frank, wouldn't you want a Frank's?
Guess there's something there, but
It's not something, Rick. It's everything is there.
and I will say I do feel
day.
better about the Packers draft choice now than I did about the Raiders draft choice when they took Darius Hayward-Bay.
Oh, there you go. Well, just so you don't get too feeling good, is your Raiders draft choice, I still think is still the bustiest of the first round.
But it's just another in a long line of guys that aren't very good. Cleveland Farrell.
Who? What? Who?
Alex Leatherwood.
Okay.
Hey, he's a
Although I
bear.
think they gave up on him too soon, but
Well, don't forget your quarterback.
Well, there was yeah, that's true. At least it ended up with another big Ohio State quarterback who's probably not going to pan out. Which maybe Stroud will be better in Houston, but I just have it conjures up images of Jamarcus and the other guy, Terrell Pryor. So
Yeah.
Terrell Pryor.
TP, he was a running threat for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben,
Yeah.
you came back with a strong statement about Jack Campbell.
I like him.
So it brings up this, right? Because we talk about all this and everybody analyzes and they do all this stuff.
They took the best linebacker and they took the best running back in the draft. Period.
Okay.
Two positions that Packers never take.
Right.
The Packers end up with the seventh best linebacker. Well, actually, they took the first linebacker in the draft, but it wasn't. I don't know. Whatever. What I'm saying is this: the Lions do things that other teams don't do, apparently. Now, and it's working.
So far,
Those guys are going to start. Those guys are going to start and impact the team this year, and they're going to win games because of them.
So the question really becomes: it's not about like reaches and did you pick a guy too soon or was that a value or blah blah blah. It's like, did you pick a good player who's going to play for your team? And if you do that, I don't give a crap where you draft him. You know, because ultimately that's the goal: is a good player that's going to play for your team and start. The Cowboys look very pleased with themselves.
it's got to be a tight end. It's
Yeah,
They
I'd
do not
agree
look.
with
gotta
that.
be. Got
I'd
it.
agree with that take, Jason. And that's kind of the way I felt last year after the Packers took Quay.
Yeah.
Where was it a bit of a reach? Yeah, by most people's standards. But if that's the guy you really want and he fits, why take a more highly rated guy that's not going to fit your scheme or what you want out of him?
Mhm.
So, I mean, to this point, verdict is still out. It's hard to say after 1 year, but I think Quay has shown enough flashes that he could turn into a good player. He's got some maturing to do.
Yeah, but he
So
flies
now
Now
around. and makes-
everybody's going to get him now. They're going to hit him after the whistle, and they're going to mess with him because they know that it messes him up, and they'll take him out of the game. And that's he's going to have to really be on his toes now and not freak out about stuff.
Hope he's got good coaching to get through that.
Well, he doesn't.
He flies around though and makes plays, so that's different. Something the Packers have had in a long time. Let me just make a quick observation here: is that the Cowboys draft room was not nearly as excited about their pick as the Vikings were about their garbage pick that they made. So let's see what this is. I don't know why the hell what I was expecting to be a good pick, or I was expecting to be the quarterback, and because they were celebrating like crazy in the Vikings room, and then they drafted some skinny wussy ass receiver who's not going to do jack shit if the Packers beat him up. So beat him up.
Now the
Maybe they
Lions
trade down
signed.
Jacksonville. Move Jacksonville
JJ is
back.
talking about how the Lions corners are crap, but they did sign 2 free agents this year in free agency at the cornerback. So they didn't feel that corner was a need for them. And they also traded, I mean, so much so that they traded away, what's his face, the guy they drafted number 3 overall a couple years back. So
Look at JJ here. He says, from your text to reality, JJ, Melton going to have 2,000 yards. Let's go, Bo.
that's shit. What? What?
Yeah. Christian Watson will just be clearing out all day long. Bo Melton catching over the middle and running like the wind, baby. Let's do it.
Oh, I thought it was that Bo was going to end up in the USFL or something.
Yeah. 2,000 yards for his career?
Stop it. Mozzie Smith, D tackle from Michigan.
Mozzie Smith, D tackle.
Wow.
Really?
Okay, now that man's built like a D tackle.
He's a big
He's got
dude.
like 75 pounds on the Buccaneers' new D tackle.
Speaking of, did anyone catch the Packers' recent tailgate tour? Now,
Yeah.
all right. Did you see any pictures from it? If you didn't, I'm just you can visualize this, or you can go and look them up later. It'd be a treat for you. So, Packers always do this tailgate tour. They have some current players. Aaron Jones went on it again, right, Ben? God damn, Aaron Jones, good guy.
Aaron Jones is the face of the franchise.
Then they have some other guys, some old guys come along, and then they have like some, Packer alumni that are kind of more recent, but can range from even back into the 90s to all the way to more recent guys. Well, Cha-Cha was in there. Cha-Cha Clinton stinks it up was on there. Fine. Because he had nothing to do once he traded him away and everybody realized he sucked everywhere else. And Eddie Lacy was there. And I'm thinking, Rick, he's probably at least 280, 290 right now. Holy
Packers
cow.
legend.
He was looking pretty chubby.
So he weighs more than me, but he's like 10 inches shorter.
Eddie Lacy. Is
How
Eddie
tall is
Lacy.
Eddie Lacy? Like 5'7"?
Did you see the picture of Eddie Lacy when he saw Sasquatch? He looked like he was going to poop his pants. They went to the Jack's Link plant.
I just saw him.
They went to the
Oh.
Jack's Link plant
Chubby.
where you know that Sasquatch from all the Jack Link's commercials. There's a picture of him of Eddie Lacy like right next to the Sasquatch, and Eddie Lacy's like freaking out.
I think when Eddie Lacy first
I'm
said
gonna
by
find
his
it.
locker that I don't watch football, then I just
Yeah.
was like, what the? Then why are you here, man? Like I don't get it. Yeah, I don't watch football, guys. They'd ask him questions about like running backs he liked or other players or whatever. Does he study this and that? I don't really watch football. I go play video games when I'm not here. Okay. Great. But he looked pretty big. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so to JJ's point, it would have been a good addition, but this is one of those guys that if the Packers had him, would they play him? They're not going to play him over Kenny. So which of your two young guys are you not going to play? So I realized that the right answer would be to get rid of Kenny, put some young, hungry guys in there that are bigger, faster, maybe stronger, but it wasn't going to happen. So it's nice it would be to have him. I don't think they'd use him.
I still like I still think Cansey's gonna be a good player. I know Ben doesn't believe it, but I think he is.
Jacksonville's gonna take. They're gonna take Nolan Smith off the board.
You keep saying that about every team, and nobody's taking him, Ekis. Come on, man.
I'll keep saying it until the Packers get him.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
go
nice.
to the freaking Chiefs, and the Chiefs defense will be even better.
A couple of years ago, we kept talking about that with JOK, and then the Packers passed on him, what, twice or three times before they? Twice for sure. They don't like smallish guys. They just don't want them. They want big guys that are
Big,
slower.
smallish tackles.
Yeah, smaller offensive linemen, but linebackers got to be bigger and slower
Yeah.
because that fits the league so well. Oh man,
I don't see the Packers trading up with any of these guys.
No.
yeah, probably not. They're just gonna sit there now, unless
They could
all
trade
of a
back.
sudden,
Let's go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
well, unless all of a sudden the tight ends, like the blocking tight ends, start to go, then maybe they'll move up.
I can see the Bengals taking a tight end. Maybe
Maybe
the Saints. I don't know.
the Saints
maybe
could
the
move,
Eagles.
maybe. I mean, of the teams that are there now, I think the Saints are the most likely to move around, but
JJ's in, Ben. He says Kenny Clark is overrated. Needs to go.
Needs to go.
yeah. I don't think he'll get any argument here. I liked Kenny. You know, when he was younger, I liked Kenny, but he's been dogging it. Was it last season? I was getting on him. I said, I want to do a show where I'm getting on Kenny because he's a slacker. And everyone's saying the Packers need to get Kenny Clark help. Kenny needs help. Kenny needs help. No, BS. If Kenny was a stud D-tackle, they'd be double, triple teaming him. He's getting single block and he's sucking. And then that week, what does he do? He shows up, actually made some plays, got everyone talking about how good he was again, just to screw over my idea for coming on and complaining on the show. So then it was too late.
Because he
Then
played
goes
a
back to
garbage.
sucking after that.
He played a garbage offensive line. It's the thing. It's Kenny Clark is no better than Mike Daniels. Actually, he's not even as good as Mike Daniels was. And Mike Daniels was a nice player. Was Mike Daniels a superstar and should he have been paid like the top 5 guy in the league? No. Kenny Clark is a good player. He looks really good against crappy offensive linemen. Against good offensive linemen, he's kind of neutralized. And against really good offensive linemen, he's kind of nothing. But that's him. So you don't pay a guy with that performance as much as they paid him. But because they drafted him in the first round, the Packers are like, well, a pretty good guy we drafted in the first round must be top of the league. Let's pay him big. That's what they
He's
do.
the best on our team where we don't have any good defensive linemen. So
Yes.
let's pay him like Chris Jones.
Same thing with Jair. I don't care how many people think he's the greatest thing. He's overrated as hell. He's not that impactful. And same thing with Gary, even. I mean, I like him, but how impactful was he really, even before he got injured? And now you're going to
Anton
pay him.
Harrison,
Now you're going to pay him top dollar off an injury? Come on.
tackle.
He didn't even come to the draft. He didn't go to Kansas City. He's hanging out at home. But Will Levis is still sitting there.
Yeah, I mean,
What's going to
I
happen when
remember
Will
him
Levis
being a lot
doesn't
of
get...
discussion of the top offensive lineman, but
That's true. What happens when Will Levis doesn't get drafted in this first round? That poor guy went all the
he
way to
sits
the
there and looks
draft.
sad.
Yeah,
Well, he
looks
can't
sad.
be going unless somebody trades up. He's not going to any of those teams.
No,
No.
I mean maybe New Orleans, but that would be a dumb pick for them.
After just paying Carr, they're not doing that.
I don't get it.
So, and I'd be less hard on Kenny. Like, yeah, you can be the junky sort of Gilbert player. That's fine. If you hold your spot, don't get pushed around. Gilbert didn't move, but he didn't go back either. He didn't go forward, but he didn't get pushed back. But he didn't get paid like Kenny Clark.
Yep.
So, I'd be fine with it if you're paying for what you get. But when you're paying for a top 5 defensive tackle and you're getting far from that, then that's not a good investment.
Yeah, the Packers tend to do it, though. We can go back to Nick Perry. We can go back to, I don't know, all the guys. I mean, Nick Perry was probably one of the worst because he had no production, and then his contract year did okay. I mean, 11 sacks, and they signed him to like a big ass new contract. Just ridiculous.
Okay, so what grade would you give the?
Sorry, I can say that again. I'm sorry.
Said what grade would you give if the Packers don't come back in and Van Ness is the only pick they get? I'll give him a B.
B minus.
It's like a C again for me because, yeah,
I don't think any of them are wrong.
the guy's
I just have
gonna.
high hopes.
The
When is he
only
gonna
thing
play? When is he gonna play?
I would go the other way, and I think that's the only reason I give it a B minus is that there is opportunity right away.
Play while Gary isn't there.
Right. It could be argued it is a position of need, but not. There are more pressing things that they could have filled with the draft. I'm not saying it's a good pick, but at least you could argue it is someone that can come in and make an impact if they play him.
Not
That's the other part
terrible.
of
I
this,
think
is
he'll
that they
be a
need to
good
play him.
player. But could have done better, especially with the people that were there.
Yes.
I mean, I like good football players, so if he turns out to be a good football player, great. I'll take it. But I just would have preferred a guy who's going to impact much more quickly. That's a big thing.
Do you guys think the Bengals are taking our tight end here?
I think they're taking Mayer.
Yeah.
Or Washington. Ooh, Miles Murphy.
Edge rusher?
Yeah.
Yep. He's only the 4th edge guy, DN, to come off.
So they wanted Van Ness, but we took him from him. Ha. Screw
Yeah.
you,
Take
Cincinnati.
that, Bengals.
Yeah.
They showed you.
Tight ends are just not valuable. Apparently,
I
people
guess
do not
not.
value them, other than the Bills.
But, looking back to sometime this offseason, I think it was, you guys had a show, and I think it was you, Jason, that was talking about how if the Packers if you really want an impactful tight end, you got to go after one of these freakish sort of guys that you don't just pick up a guy like Kelsey, right? You're not just going to pick him up off the scrap heap somewhere. So how high do you go to draft a tight end, right? I mean, how much talk has there been leading up to the draft about how tight ends are overvalued? Like Andy Herman's, just basically gone up and down. Don't draft a tight end in the first round. There's no return on investment from it. But then how do you end up with a guy like Kelsey that is a game breaker, a real difference maker? Unless you get lucky on, some unpolished gem that you find that comes out of nowhere, you're not going to get these guys, right? So, yeah, I'm a little torn. Like, if you want a guy that's going to be a playmaker like Kincaid, you're going to have to go kind of high. I understand not wanting to overvalue the position, but how much of a difference is there between these top-notch guys that are going to really make a difference versus your run-of-the-mill tight end? So what are you looking for? Do you want a guy who's a blocker like Washington? Well, maybe that disparity's a little less. How do you measure blocking versus touchdowns, receptions, first downs, everything else? But if you got a guy that can make an impact like Waller has done over the last few years, okay, well, last couple of years haven't been great, but before that, it was essentially getting wide receiver productivity out of the tight end position, including some game breaking ability. So how high do you value that?
I mean, it's a position that every team basically has on the field almost all the time. Like, there was a trend in the NFL for a while where they're doing a lot of spread stuff, and maybe tight ends, they weren't going to use them or whatever. But then defenses adjusted to that, and they said, well, if we keep one of these guys out here, and it's a different type of guy that could, be too big for a safety to cover, too fast for a linebacker to cover, it'd be a real matchup problem. But then we can also run the ball because they can block. Like, I don't know, though, and those guys are so rare, and they change the game. They change the way you can play. You force the defense to play differently and adjust and adapt to those guys. But most teams now have a tight end in on every single play, and sometimes multiple tight ends, right, with some of these different offensive systems. So it's a really important position that people are going to use. So it's weird to me that no one's drafting him, really, because there's a lot of good ones here, and maybe that's the problem. Like, everybody's like, well, these guys are all pretty good, so we'll just take whatever one whenever we want to take them. But the Packer situation is very different. I mean, there's nobody on the roster. So you got to prioritize what you don't have, because you need those guys to play football. You need those guys to run your offense. So to me, it's just I mean, it has to be the next pick or one of the next couple of picks in the 40s if that's where they're going to sit. Like, they've got to solidify that so they can actually run a functional offense, because as much as I like Josiah DeGuara, he's not on the line of scrimmage tight end. He's not big enough. And Davis ain't jack nothing. He shouldn't even be on the team. So who the hell else you got? You got nobody. And we've done it before where, you pick guys up. Robert Tonyan, yeah, he was great. He had incredible hands, but there's a lot of other stuff he couldn't do. So if you're going to wait, or you're going to take a guy late, or you're going to pick a guy up, like, there's going to be reasons why that guy was available, deficiencies he will have. He won't be able to do all the things you need him to do to be a well-rounded tight end. And I just go back to when we did the top 10s of all time, and I've been assigned the tight ends. Like, that was a pretty damn sad list in the history of the Green Bay Packers. There haven't been many good tight ends over the years. It's crazy when you really researched it and looked at it. I mean, Bubba Franks made the list. What was he, top 5? Number 6? What was he, Ben?
4. He was number 4.
My God.
No, he was number 5. No, he was number 4. He was an All-Pro 3 times.
Keith Jackson made the list, for crying out loud.
Well, yeah,
No, he wasn't All-Pro. He was a Pro Bowl 3 times, not All-Pro. Pro Bowl 3 times. He was no Honolulu Jones. I was just thinking about something.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow I have off, so I'm going to put together a tape reel of all of Josiah DeGuara's catches from Jordan Love. And I'm going to I just thought of something as you were talking just now. Maybe, think about this, guys. Maybe we don't need a JSN, and we don't need a Kincaid, and we don't need a Musgrave, and we don't need a guy like that, because just maybe the Packers are going to draft Washington, or Meyer or what's the other guy? Tucker Kraft, to be the inline tight end. And then Josiah DeGuara is going to be our stick mover because him and Jordan Love have a connection. And I'm going to show it tomorrow. Tomorrow night when we do the show live, I'll have the cut scenes of all Jordan Love's passes to Josiah DeGuara. Because DeGuara's got like 14 catches in his whole career, and like 10 of them are from Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers never throws him the damn ball because he's an ass. So, just so you know. But I'm just saying, I'm thinking he could be. Maybe he's our chain mover guy. And then you're running plays with, you got Dobbs, Watson, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, Josiah DeGuara. That's your solid set of receiving options on a play. What's the defense going to run against that? 2 running backs and a fullback. It's going to mess everybody up. They're not going to know what to do. Who the Saints taking?
D-tackle.
Ryan Breesy,
Yeah.
defensive tackle from Clemson.
Yeah, he's had a very sad story. His sister died of cancer last year, and it kind of messed him up. His production went down a little bit. So, but he's a good fit for the Saints.
He's a big dude.
Well,
Lisa
I was
Big
just
quarterback.
thinking, the first, we like to think we know what's going on, but didn't the Lions just get rid of, what was it, Okuda?
Yep, Okuda, yeah.
Who was, 2 years
Third.
removed from the 3rd overall pick?
Yep.
And they gave him away for nothing.
5th round pick.
Yeah. Which I wish Packers could have got in on that or so. I don't know. I don't know how good the guy is.
Yeah.
But we think you think you got the guy. How much is it you're scouting and what you're looking for? And there's just so many factors that go in. And me, who looks at the list against my 6th grader and says, I know what's going on.
How's that list going, by the way?
I gave up on that a while. I gave up on that 2 beers ago. But, I'll just scribble on it. I beat the kid. He owes me 10 push-ups. But yeah,
the Packers bring Sternberger back from the XFL or wherever he is now.
They might have to.
No.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe they're going to use the guys they have. I don't know. I like all those guys. I like A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, Josiah DeGuara, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. I like all those guys. Torrey's fine. Bo Melton, I think, could be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a different way of playing. If he's a coach and he's a good coach, LaFleur will have to utilize what Goody gets him. But I would hope that they get somebody decent at tight end, inline tight end, because that's the one area where they're very deficient. Maybe Josiah DeGuara could take that spot of a slot/move tight end who's going to get you the first down on 3rd and 5. And I think he can do it. He's very good at finding the hole. He's good at getting to the second level behind linebackers. They don't know he's there. I watched him in college. He did that all the time on the tape. I really liked it when they drafted him. I was probably the only person who said good things about it, that 3rd round pick. Everybody's like, 3rd round pick, fullback, what a bunch of idiots. And I'm like, no, he's good on tape. But, it hasn't translated because he got injured. And then last year, Rodgers wouldn't throw the ball. Jordan Love and him are best buddies. So he will throw him the ball.
Certainly, I don't think it's likely, but given the Packers like to try to squirrel away people on their practice squad and not play guys that they don't want anyone to know about, there's a chance they have a couple of tight end prospects that they've been sitting on that nobody knows about because they never get an opportunity to do anything.
There is a guy Andy Herman likes. I can't remember his name, but there's one guy on the Packers that he loves. He thinks he's awesome, and he's like an undrafted signee that they picked up that's on the team right now. I don't remember what the hell his name is, but he loves him. And Andy Herman, sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. I don't know, but I mean, he also loves Tim Boyle, so put that as you will.
They also thought Tyler Davis was that a couple years ago.
Tyler Davis, no. They just were giving him a shit. They were like, he has
Oh.
potential.
They thought he was like a squirrely guy on the practice squad or whatever, and then he ended up being a guy who couldn't block, nothing,
Can't catch.
and
He can't block. He can't
and
catch.
then-
Yeah, he's terrible.
And he's terrible on special teams. So what the hell good is he? None. He's not good.
He's
at
a
all.
former tight end or former quarterback.
Former quarterback turned tight end. Great. More of those.
Lee,
guys.
I don't know. Why is he? Why are you in Orlando? Nobody knows because you're going to Harry Butterland.
Why is Tyler Davis on the team? We don't know, Lee, because they
we
don't
have
have any
no
other
tight
tight
ends.
ends.
Next thing you know, you're going to have Danley Edling's going to be lined up as tight end because they got nothing.
Unless the Packers draft 3 tight ends in this draft. Since nobody wants them, all the Packers just take 3 of them.
Jace,
Get
that
rid of
could be
Tyler
your
Davis.
that could be your way to get into the Packers organization. Forget
Tight
their
ends
media
coach.
relations. You could dust off those tight end cleats. And get
Yeah,
back
Hans
over.
Hafeman.
Ooh. I can
Let's
teach him
go,
how to
Hans
catch
Hafeman. Come out of
and how to
retirement.
hold, but I can't teach him how to.
All NFL teams are dreaming
How to
for a
fall down after they catch it.
5'10", 171-pound tight end.
I cannot teach him how to run after the catch. That's for sure. That was not a strong point.
You were a possession receiver. It's okay.
That's right. I got a couple first downs here and there. The Eagles, they're back.
You got some interceptions too.
Yeah,
At defensive end. Rick, did you ever get an interception at D tackle?
No. It's too busy getting double teamed.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's
sure,
the reason
sure.
why. Okay.
That's why I can relate to Kenny Clark.
He doesn't get double teamed. Ben said he watches like games, and Kenny Clark's barely double teamed at all.
Okay, that's why I can relate to Gilbert.
Okay, Gilbert.
They didn't need to double team me, but they did.
They didn't need to, but they did. That's good. That's so that Chad DeCane could be the superstar.
Yeah,
That's right. They would double team you and not block him at all, and then he just run
that's
in
right.
there.
And
And
he could
get
use
a
it
sack.
there.
That's the one thing I never understood about your line. So you got you, what are you, like 6'4"? You were like 240.
6'2".
6'2".
Chad was
Well,
old time.
yeah, but Chad was 6'4".
Yeah,
And how much were you? You were like 200 and something, right?
235, 240.
235. Chad was like 6'4", 2 something.
Similar, yeah.
And then they got Desjardins and Jay, and 5'8", 190, and 5'10", 182.
Hey, he was
What a-
5'9", 215, by the way.
He was 215 at 5'9"? Okay.
Yeah, he had a wide base.
Still, you had the 2 big guys on one side of the D-line and then the 2 little tiny guys on the other side of the D-line. I wonder which side they ran to every time, your opponents.
Not our side.
That's not true. They ran at you punks all the time. Because Chad was Zadarius unaware, and you were
Was
getting
he?
double teamed because nobody blocked Chad. So it was easy.
And then
All right.
the one time I thought I finally split the double team. Turns
It was
out
a
it was a
screen
trap
pass.
block. And in case
Yeah.
Ryback airborne.
Yeah, Casey Ravak, former NFL offensive lineman with the Washington team
That's right. And Cowboys.
and Cowboys. Yeah.
Not many people can say they got their ass kicked by a future NFL star.
That's right.
You did it, Rick. Good job.
Yeah.
Eagles are fired up here, and then the Steelers had the final pick of the round.
The Steelers? They must have traded up, huh?
Oh no, I'm sorry, KC, and then the Steelers. My bad. 2 more.
Well, Steelers aren't in the first round. That's the second round because the Dolphins lost their pick because they were tampering with Tom Brady. Tampering with Tom Brady.
Why do the Vikings keep drafting receivers? It's weird.
Because they're the Lions of about 20 years ago. Remember, Lions would draft the receiver every time?
They want to get back to those days of 3 deep. Which maybe some of your listeners are old enough to remember that reference.
Poor Will Levis.
I know. It's gotta feel bad.
I
He showed up.
thought the Vikes were taking a swing there for sure.
I thought so too.
I mean,
Oh, I thought Mama Kelsey was a dude. That's kind of mean. Sorry, guys.
why are they dragging this crap out? Let's go.
Let's
Get
say,
it
I
over.
don't know. They want to waste our time. They don't realize that we're all trying to go to bed because they all have to work the next day.
10:44.
Except for me, I took it off.
I had to get up extra early because my kids got banned at 7 o'clock in the morning.
7.
What'd you say?
4:30. Damn it.
Is Nolan Smith is still there?
Yeah. Nolan Smith.
Hmm.
Joey Porter never got picked up.
There's some good players still out there. Packers could still improve their team. Let's see. Eagles. Oh, they just took Nolan Smith. There you go. You know he's not there anymore.
Are you kidding me? The Eagles did
Oof.
2 Georgia guys just like the Packers. They're just trying to be the Packers.
They want to be the Packers.
So even if their tackle's a bust, this guy's still going to be a bargain. So Eagles still win.
That is a good pick.
Man.
All right, Chiefs, come on. You've had like 4
The
hours.
Eagles just got the 2 best players in the draft, in my opinion.
Oh.
Nolan Smith went 30th. He's the best pass rusher in the league, or in the draft, and they got the best defensive tackle in the league. Probably the best defensive player in the league when they got Jalen Carter. So that's insanity. If they don't get the Super Bowl this year, something's wrong.
So it's the Eagles and Jets Super Bowl?
No. Eagles and Ravens.
What?
Now Lamar got paid, he's gonna play like a madman. Plus he's got OBJ. He's got who else did they draft? Who's the receiver they drafted? Did they draft a receiver?
Flowers?
Zay Flowers, yeah, he's good. Zay Flowers, OBJ, Mark Andrews.
Duvernay.
Yeah, they're gonna be good. Bateman.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Ravens and the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Jimmy G could have us all saying "Viva Las Vegas, baby."
No. Sorry, Rick. I'm sorry, man. I hate to destroy your dreams, but I got a feeling the Raiders are going to have like 2 wins all year.
Yeah. Maybe
Devontae's gonna make a big stink. He's gonna want to be traded. He'll be traded before the end of the year.
That's true. Devontae, when things don't go well, then he just wants his stuff, and if he ain't getting his, if he's not getting fed, then he'll just be injured and sit out. What's that Edgar score again?
Will be traded.
I said trade him to the Saints by Derek Carr again. Try again.
Yep.
There you go.
The Raiders did to play Danger Russ twice, though.
Oh, they'll win. They'll win there. Well, I don't know. They got Sean Payton now. Maybe he'll fix his ass up. One more pick, gents. Not as exciting as years past. I got to be honest. I think it's because we already knew what happened. They picked it so early. We're just like,
yeah.
Yeah, but if they picked like the right player, we'd have been able to be excited for a long time.
How many of these guys were super exciting possibilities?
No, you're right. There was the problem is every one of these guys in the draft is like a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah.
Except for like Nolan Smith, who was a 1st-round pick.
The 2nd round could be more interesting just because of the guys that have fallen.
Yeah. I mean, well, Christian Gonzalez, that would have been that's a good pick. It's a shame that we had 3 quarterbacks and 2 running backs go before the Packers. So that's 5 picks we didn't want anything to do with.
Right.
Which means out of the top 8, they think Lucas Van Ness is a top 8 player. I don't know. I don't know.
What, 20 picks in before a receiver's taken.
Let's hope that they're right.
And this is like the best tight end class in forever, and it's 25 picks before a tight end is taken. So with it being a weak offensive line class, why are there so many offensive linemen taken in the top 10?
I think it's because it's top heavy. Like there's a couple good guys in the start, and then after that it's like just
okay. What do we? Yeah, we could use a decent lineman, so let's take a shot.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because I think they're still good players. I mean, I really like Steve Avila, guard from TCU. There's that center from Minnesota, Jacob Jingleheimer Schmitz or whatever.
Yeah, works for me. It's Cody Mauch guy. Should be Jason's favorite guy this year.
Yeah, Cody Mauch, who's got no teeth or whatever. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
He sounds
like
like a
that.
Packer already. 91.8 overall grade this past season. But he's 24 years old.
He makes Quinn Miners look like a pretty refined young man.
Yeah.
I gotta say it. When the Packers didn't draft Miners a couple years ago, it still hurts. So I kind of down on getting my hopes up about offensive
The gut.
linemen. Yeah,
Got the gut.
you should have been the pick. You should have been. I mean, come on.
And there's Luke Whippler, 21-year-old center from Ohio State, but I don't think the Packers would make the mistake of taking another Ohio
No
State
more
center after
freaking Ohio State centers. No,
This guy looks good, though.
I don't care.
I don't know. Who are the Chiefs taking?
Yeah, I mean, the interior line seems like there's a lot more depth there this year than in years past. But those aren't the guys that were going.
No.
And that's not really what Green Bay needs. I mean, yeah, they could use them, but
We have empty roster spots we have to fill.
Chiefs will take
Edger.
a corner. They might take Joey Porter, or they might go edge here.
I'm surprised Will Levis was not drafted in the first round.
Well, the Vikings are dumb. You're sitting right there for him. Weird. So we like the fact, and they were super excited. That draft room was really excited about that garbage wide receiver they took.
maybe Kansas City will do the fantasy football thing where they'll take Levis and then trade him to somebody mid-season when they really need a quarterback and they're desperate.
No, they won't.
Okay, not really. I'm just trying to add some intrigue to this.
They're going to take, I don't know. I don't even know what they need. They'll take Felix Zuma.
Yeah, I think they'll go secondary.
Secondary? Okay, well, then they'll take Joey Porter Jr. He's still there.
I could see that.
Or maybe that shifty little safety guy. He's still around, right?
Oh, Branch.
Yeah.
Brian
Yeah,
Branch.
Honey Badger was, the guy there. He was small.
That's
he
true.
wasn't
He's like
big.
a honey badger. He's not as fast as Honey Badger, but he's an all-around monster player, just without the speed.
Value.
Now the Chiefs are excited, and their pick is in.
And he already wears red and white, so it fit right in.
There you go. Will we ever
Super
get the
entertaining,
draft?
super-
Will we ever get the draft in Green Bay, you think?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess you're working on it, right?
Hey, I got season tickets. I'll be there if they do. I'll get a GoPro and I'll show you this shit live. Or it'll be a picture of me passed out on a pillow somewhere. But it'll still be pretty fun.
we got a picture you passed out on a toilet once. That's all we need.
More than once, I think.
Who created
I'm
the
drinking
poop
tonight.
star anyway?
I think it's 6 o'clock our time, JJ.
Yeah, 6.
Yep, 6
looked it up.
p.m. Yeah.
It's better than Nick humping my pillow.
That was terrible.
At least he kept his underwear on.
Who had that Vikings pillow, and him and Abe had their bare asses on it?
I don't
was
know.
that a burger
Burger?
pillow or what?
Yeah, it must have been burger, yeah. That might have gotten burned with all. I burned a couple of my photo albums when I had a kid. I didn't want any evidence of stuff.
Nichols got some incriminating photos yet. I know that.
Oh, that's right. He does.
I'm not running for Senate anytime soon. It's fine. I've already got video of me admitting to hit kids with dodgeballs, so I'm out.
So, yeah, at least most of that was before there was social media.
Yeah,
that's
no kidding. Oh God.
I've been in trouble.
I can't imagine being stupid nowadays.
Can't get away with nothing.
No. Which is good. I think a lot more people are, being smart.
Yeah, whatever. Kids are a bigger pain in the ass now than we were.
They are. They're whinier, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're not doing this like stupid, dumb stuff.
Felix Aduke Uzawama.
That's what I said. Felix Aduke Zuma Zuma Guma Zuma.
Nice.
6'3", 255 defensive end. Smaller than Jamal Reynolds. All right. Well, maybe Pittsburgh will take Joey Porter. Seems
We got
fitting.
10 picks. The top 10 on the list here that I have left before pick 42. We got Will Levis, Brian Branch, Michael Mayer, Joey Porter Jr., Cyrus Torrance, a guard from Florida. DeJuan Jones is like a 270-pound offensive tackle. I don't think we wanted that. John Jacob Jingle Michael Heigers Michael Schmitz, center in Minnesota. Darnell Washington, tight end. Josh Downs, wide receiver. We don't want that. Cam Smith, corner. We don't want that. Steve Avila, guard. Very good. Sam Laporta, tight end. So those are the top 11 players left.
So of their 2 picks, I think they got a shot at Washington.
Yeah.
I
think
think
we
so.
got a
I don't know.
shot.
We'll see. Because what do we got? We got Steelers. Do they want a tight end? Maybe.
No.
Cardinals, no. Lions, possibly. Colts, no. LA Chargers, possibly. Seahawks, no. Raiders, yes. They just traded Waller. Panthers, maybe. Saints, maybe. Titans, no. And the Packers.
They're gonna have to be prepared to move up if they.
I think they're gonna have to move up.
Yeah, and that the Raiders it would be a smart pick for them, so they probably won't do it. But big blocking tight end would make sense, right? I mean that they're a power rushing team. That's when they were at their best when they're actually good in the last few years. It's when they had a solid offensive line.
Now, does Josh Jacobs have an actual contract, or is he just franchise
I
right
think
now?
it's a 1 year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could see McDaniels. If McDaniels has influence, I could see them going after prioritizing a blocking tight end.
I mean, they call Michael Mayer. He's like baby Gronk, even though he's not anywhere near as good as Gronk. But they say he's like baby Gronk. So
Yeah.
I could see McDaniels fall in love with him. But
All right.
all right.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach. It's good to see you, bro.
you. Sorry the Packers let you down.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. This guy could be good. He's giving me Mark Chmura vibes. He's kind of good looking. I could see him doing something stupid.
Tell
Oh,
him Chewy sent you.
She's only 17. 17.
All right. Let's see what they do tomorrow, fellas. Take care.
All
right.
right. See, I guess.
There it
yeah, I
is.
guess.
Hafeman Bros. After we killed alive, we should stay on for a bit to make plans for the weekend.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. I got to ask you questions.
Van Ness.
All right. All your
Are we hanging up there, Jace?
hundreds
Let's
of
go.
listeners, thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully we were somewhat entertaining.
I don't know
I
who
don't
the
think we
last
weren't
pick
as
was.
good
Did we
this
get it?
year. We didn't have any crazy things, but it's just more. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
We're relaxing. We're being cool.
Probably needed to drink more. That was part of the problem.
Yes, usually you drink more, Jace. Your new job's got you freaked out. You won't drink before you.
I can.
old
I
job-
got too many.
The old
too
job
many
used to get hammered
responsibilities.
every night, and you didn't care.
Well, I didn't have to worry about being able to think the next day. Now I do.
On my
All
way home
right.
from work, I got a ride home with my boss and her husband, and they bought me beer. So, got to find the right setting.
Ooh, Goody's talking now, apparently.
Ooh.
JJ says it. All right, everybody, be good. Goody press conference coming up.
Check out Goody's press conference. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Enjoy it.
everybody.
Let's hear him explain this pick. All right, bye, guys.